Crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover.
It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
The crossover is powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair and Overhaul at everlevelconcrete.com, mother.
You got to take what you want in this life,
Come
man.
on.
Nice.
That's my Everlevel Concrete. Nobody else's. Screw you, Greg McDermott. It's
Good
mine.
job. Good job.
Wow. We are getting crushed here at Bethpage.
Yep.
We're getting our asses handed to us.
Can you believe this? In New York, of all places, we're getting absolutely smashed.
Oh, did you hear Stu Feiner do the voiceover? You know
Who's Stu Feiner?
Oh my
Gambling
God.
guy.
You don't know
from back in the day, like when there was Jim Feist and those guys that had like
Okay.
the USA Network 6:30 Saturday morning show.
Oh,
He would
okay.
be one of those guys. And now he lives out on Long Island.
Yeah.
He actually lives like just down the road from the entrance to Bethpage.
Yeah.
So he's a barstool guy,
Yes.
big gambling guy.
Ready to roll, ready to roll, ready to roll.
Oh,
Dave Portnoy, you beautiful man. Dave
yeah,
Portnoy.
I know him. Yeah, the yelling guy.
Yes. You know, have you seen the Money 2 for the Money? No. Have you seen the movie 2 for the Money?
Matthew McConaughey, Al Pacino?
Yes.
Yes.
Al Pacino is Stuart Feiner.
Oh.
Like Al Pacino.
He plays him.
Okay.
He played like Al Pacino's character is Stu Feiner.
Wow.
So
Okay, and so what did he do for
he's
this?
just such a niche human. Like he's just like knowing who Stu Feiner is and like knowing what he does is a very like niche thing.
Clearly.
He did the voiceover for the Ryder Cup, like the hype intro, like heading into the. He did.
Well, you got to get a Long Island guy with an
Yeah,
accent.
and
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was so, and he was like,
There's
trying,
only so many people you could really choose for.
well, the best part was he was trying to hold in his Long Island accent,
Uh-huh.
and it would just like leak out a little bit on certain words. Like
no,
it
you
would
want
just-
it. I think you want to let it go.
Yeah, it would just peak the corner.
If
a
not
little
now,
bit,
when?
And it was so, but he was trying to keep it together, and then there was a viral video 2 weeks ago of him telling Dave Portnoy, "Hey, I'm going to be the voiceover guy for the Ryder Cup." And Dave's like, "Why the hell? Why you? Like, why would they pick you? What do you mean you're the voiceover guy for
Because
the
Long
Ryder
Island,
Cup?"
America.
So it was great. You should watch it. It's awesome.
Okay, so I enjoy watching the Ryder Cup every other year. It's tough to win on the road, but
Clearly. Apparently not today, though.
Tough to win at
So,
home, too.
Tough to win.
let's say the U.S. does not win, which
Looking
is going to be
likely.
tough because they got to get to 14 and a half. Is it going to ruin my golf experience? Like, I think I'll move on pretty quickly. But if they win, I'm going
No.
to do a victory lap.
No, but I'll be pretty
I'll be upset.
I'll be pretty bummed out when I see those freaking Europeans celebrating all
Yeah.
over the place.
And they're spraying champagne on each
Yep.
other on
Yeah.
our soil.
Yep.
Yeah.
That and
And I
Keegan,
see Rory happy.
Keegan Bradley has a lot to lose too, because it's been like Keegan Bradley being the captain of the Ryder Cup has been like his deal. Like that's been his thing. Like everybody knows him because he's the captain. If he fails, I'm gonna be out on Keegan Bradley.
Golf casual here. That's the only reason I know him.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
It's like he's the Ryder. I don't even
Well,
know
he
who the
should be-
Ryder
he
Cup
should-
captain.
He should be playing.
He should be.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
I-
that was the debate over the summer. Will he play? Will he not?
Well,
play?
because he is ranked higher than 5 of his golfers that he selected.
he was playing great golf to end the year. He was like one of the best guys on tour to end the year, but apparently it's too stressful, I guess, and he's got to make too many decisions, and he's whatever.
I really picked up a lot from that golf show on Coil every Saturday. More than I realized.
You know something else about like there's a couple of American golfers that we absolutely do not like, but once they put on the red, white, and blue,
Yeah.
we're
Oh,
like,
sure.
"They're
That's
the-
right.
I love that.
Yep.
guy."
Actually, no, disagree. I still hate Patrick Reed.
But he was Mr. USA.
I hate
Like he
Patrick
was
Reed.
great in the Ryder Cup
That guy's
format.
an idiot.
Don't care.
But
Don't
you're,
care.
but you're right. So because people remember when he won Augusta,
Yeah.
and people are like, "Oh, I hate that guy." But I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? Last November, he was Mr. USA. We love him.
It was weird. It was definitely conflicting. But I was still like, I don't want to see that guy happy. I just really wish he was a European.
It's
Oh, that
funny.
isn't good.
Look, Shoffley
Oh,
just hung
God.
one
Oh,
into
no.
the suites.
It's
Dear God, we
Um,
suck.
he
Can
just
you get
hung
a-
one into the Lexus
Hey,
Club.
Can you get a drop from there?
No, it bounced off.
I think
Oh,
they
it did?
found it.
They
Yeah.
found it. Yeah, Keegan does not look happy. It's funny that Josh jokes about a golf show being on Saturdays on Coil. That was like my one job at ESPN was producing the CDGA golf show. And it was a 3-hour show
Whoa.
about golf. and it was hell on earth. And let me tell you this. They talked about Keegan Bradley being the captain of the Ryder Cup every week. Every week it was what happened to Victor Hovland and Keegan Bradley being the Ryder Cup captain. So I have way too much knowledge of this man. And just invested in
Here
this.
comes the president.
Is he going?
Yes. Yeah, he'll
Oh
be there.
yeah, that's an automatic
That's called Air Force One.
No, I know what that
Yeah.
plane is. I didn't know that he was
golf
No,
I didn't
in
know
New
he was
York.
coming in.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, but
Yeah.
but where?
How could I
is
miss it?
he? Is he going to be like in a suite on the 18th hole? Because it's not like he's going to be walking, following the leader. You know, like following a foursome.
Bryson, you got to make sure your hands come through and you have to hinge. You're not hinging, Bryson. You're
Maybe
not
they'd play
hinging.
better if he was stalking them.
It's Bryson, it's breaking a little left to right.
Now the question is,
Not like me. I break right to left.
the question is when he shows up at the course.
Where does he
And
land?
remember, this is New York. They booed the governor of New York the other day. He's going to get some
Yes.
reaction. But does he come dressed like he's golfing, or does he come in a suit
Oh,
like he normally wears?
I go. Yeah, you got to go golf attire.
So he's going to look like when he is at one of his courses playing, right?
Yeah.
Do you think
Yeah.
he'll be wearing shorts?
with the
No,
visor.
no, he doesn't wear
no.
shorts. He
No,
doesn't
no.
wear shorts.
But the familiar, he'll be wearing blue
big-
pants, white shirt,
Big
and he'll
hat.
have his mega hat.
Yeah.
I love the brain of Connor Happer, who immediately thought, "Where is he
Well,
landing?"
they just showed his plane. Yeah.
Well,
I didn't know
okay,
there was an airport right next to it. There is an airport
What,
right
the
next
best
to it.
page
large
airport?
enough to have Air Force One land. Because if not, then he's going to
LaGuardia.
and,
Well, he'd either go
and
to-
there's no way that you're making it, or you're just going to
You
tick
could
off
go-
all of the island by shutting down roads for the motorcade to get there.
Oh,
It would be probably the same trip to go LaGuardia, or you could do, MacArthur, Islip, whatever they call it. So
but it's
Such an
still
airport
a
guy.
it's still
Yeah.
a haul.
I think there's
from
it looks like
LaGuardia
there's a
out
little.
to Bethpage.
It is,
out on the
and it
island.
would be the same way, but I guess you could go Islip. But
So they must have a landing.
it
strip
looks like
close
there's
by.
a little airport right here.
is it
Yeah.
a bigger airport than the one Penn State has to land in?
I can't tell. It looks
No, it might be
quite
because
small.
you can't land like the chartered planes can land in state.
Oh,
college.
they can?
Yeah.
It looks like it's handling smaller planes. Of course, Air Force One is not small.
I was going to ask how many people seat on Air Force One.
I mean, like as many as they want. Like
It's-
it's gigantic.
gigantic.
Is it
Yeah.
really big?
Do
Yeah.
you not see it flying around?
It's a
Omaha?
full on.
Is it a 737?
No, it's greater than that.
What?
76 passengers, including his president and 26 crew members.
What kind of plane is it, Josh?
Boeing 747.
47.
They have 26
Oh.
crew members on Air Force One.
Well, somebody's got to serve the caviar
That's what Google AI says.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
or order the McDonald's for him to eat.
Does the traveling like press corps still go along?
Yeah.
We
They
still,
still
do
have that?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
so-
do.
okay.
Oh, they do. Because don't you like he's
Oh yeah.
he does it more than most recent presidents, where he'll pop his head through the door and start taking questions.
I
Yeah.
saw a video of
Yeah.
that earlier.
Like when he
this
was
week,
coming
yeah.
back.
I
From,
mean, that's cool.
yeah,
That's cool.
When he was coming back from London last week, he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when media members used to travel with the teams, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
It just seems so much easier.
Did they
Like,
just-
hey, I'll just be on the plane with you.
Yeah,
That's
just-
fine.
yeah. We won't talk or whatever.
Yeah, you go up there. I'll be back here. In
Yeah.
Do they just have like,
Loserville.
do they have just like a mobile podium that they just like store in Air Force One and they just
No,
bring
no.
it out? Oh, okay.
No,
No, it's
He just-
informal.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
He just
Yeah,
talks. Yeah.
Good for him.
but
I don't follow politics.
But the press corps, they go in the back of the plane and they sit way in the back. Kind of like if you're with a sports team, the announcers travel with the team,
yeah.
but they get on in the back and all the players are up front. And the media, the team media is way in the back, separated from the players.
You mean that if I ever traveled to Nebraska football, I couldn't sit next to Matt Rule and just
Now-
ask him all
now-
the
Well,
football questions?
what you would find is that every seat is already predetermined.
Yes, it
sure.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
So
colleges.
it would be difficult.
Hey,
to-
Matt.
It'd be
I'm-
difficult to find a spot.
I'm going off my experience when I was working with the Twins and would take a couple of road trips.
Sure.
You're not sitting next to Byron Buxton. You're going to be in the back.
Rocco, what's wrong with Clausen?
They each have their depending on how big of a plane they're on. They usually each have their own row.
Oh,
you
okay.
know.
And they're all and like the
Unless they're
plane-
rooks.
Yeah, and the plane is configured where, I mean, you have a lot of space.
There's some space, right? They pull out a couple seats in the middle. They put a card table.
Oh, nice. Play a little. What's that famous NBA game? Boo something. Boo Rang.
Pinochle?
No, Boo Dang.
Labubu?
No, there's a famous card game.
Trend right now.
Boo Rang. I
Just
think.
card. Just call it cards.
No. There's a no. There's a. Wait. famous
You might be right.
NBA gambling card game.
Poker?
No, not poker. Boo-ray.
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 I never heard of Boo-ray.
How is Boomerang played?
Boo-ray is play like you got
Rang or Ray?
the famous NBA gambling card game is called Boo-ray. It's a trick-taking game played with a 52 card deck where players ante money and try to win the most tricks in each round. The game is notorious within league for its ubiquity on flights and road trips.
They played a lot of when I was on the bus this year with Creighton, they played a lot of Mafia. They were playing Mafia every single even if it was for like a 6-minute bus ride. It was like we got to resume our game of Mafia.
Isn't that where you try and like
so somebody is
kill
like
people?
Somebody is like a murderer or somebody's in the Mafia, somebody's a
Oh.
cop, you know, and they try to call out you a cop, you know, are you a cop?
Well, that's those types of games. So the other one is like Werewolf, where it's like you have 8 people, 2 of them are the werewolves.
Yeah, it's
That-
like a Last of Us type of deal.
That was
right?
actually,
you just have to identify who the bad guy is.
Those types of games were created by sociologists in order to prove that a informed minority would always beat an uninformed majority. So
wow.
Yeah, those types
Deep.
those types of games were actually like created in a research study to like prove the dangers of like dictatorships and oligarchies.
No.
That
Are you reading off of something?
No. I
believe.
I'm a sociology minor.
Look at that.
So we learned all these things. So
Cool.
that game it wasn't just
It seemed fun.
little-
I almost
Yeah.
asked like, "Hey, can I play?" once?
wow.
And then I didn't.
Yeah, those games are actually incredibly important toward like.
You think I should have asked?
Yeah, you should have.
I should have.
Next year.
I could be the
So,
murderer.
Rob Childress is a big card player, and he
Mhm.
would sit in the back of the bus and he would take money from players.
Oh, I bet.
And then he would after he'd beat somebody and they were eliminated, I can't remember. I don't know why canasta comes to my mind, but it was not that. It was like I think it was Pinochle. But then he'd call out a player and he'd go, "Come back here and get your beat."
Yeah.
He'd just be sitting in the back of the bus playing cards with the players.
Yeah, I love it.
Boo-ray is what caused the Gilbert Arenas.
The gun?
incident.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Well, the stories about Blu-ray is like you can lose like $50,000.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like there were like the LA Lakers and Shaq have great stories about how like they would haze rookies by taking all their money in the game. And one time I think one of the players like walked in and said, "Hey, thanks for the new Rolls Royce."
Damn.
Like they would just take their money and buy crap.
I guess when you're that rich, you can just do that. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Well, Michael Jordan, the stories with him are legendary too.
I'd feel pretty bad taking 50 grand off my teammate. You know, I'd probably be like, you know what? How about just 10? You know?
10 grand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant $10.
No, not $10. Buy my next beer.
Would
know?
you feel bad for me if you took like $100 off of me? That's probably what 50 grand to an NBA player would be.
I wouldn't feel bad if I took $100 off you. I would
Thanks.
feel bad if I took $1,000 off you.
I would never allow that to happen.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Would you give him
That's why I feel bad.
a whole like, okay, before we get to 1,000, here's your chance.
Yeah,
to
you
get
got
out.
an out. You had an
Yeah,
out.
you probably no, you would do.
Would you like to
that.
start a payment system? There's interest.
Well, then
know?
you would make a bunch of crossover jokes.
I'm not
over
like
and over.
I'm not like a big like I'm getting my money guy. You know,
No,
like
you don't-
I'm more of like a, you know, we'll even it out eventually.
You don't give me.
You buy me lunch, I buy you lunch. It just works out.
We do have one of those bets.
We do. There's one on the line
Yeah.
right now.
You don't give me Stewie trying to get Brian's money. But
No, I'm not knocking out people's doors. You know,
where's my money, Brian?
where's my money?
Where's
Yeah.
my money, Brian?
Hey, how come, speaking of card games, Rounders never won an award, did it?
Oh, it should have.
Oh God.
Yeah, it should have, but no, I don't think it did.
That movie-
Hanging around.
Hanging around.
He's got
Let's see.
alligator blood.
You guys are not even like the best line of that movie.
Well, he tricked me.
What is the best line of that movie? For
Check.
He's just doing Malkovich.
Paid the man
Checky,
his
checky, checky, check.
He checked and checked. He trapped me.
I was so thrown off by a Russian man eating Oreos and the way he ate the Oreos.
Was he Russian though? That's always the question
Mm.
because his accent was absolutely absurd and didn't make any sense at all.
I still have 15 grand of your money.
That's
I blink you like goat.
he ate Oreos like I did as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
You
Where
tore off
you-
the top and
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then where you
Oh, are you
eat the
crazy?
cream. And so, like no, you would just eat it like a normal cookie. But he was the,
Well-
you take the bottom and top off, and then you eat the cream.
yeah, I
you
don't,
twist them. Yeah.
I don't think Rounders. I don't think Rounders won anything.
It's an interesting way to eat a sandwich.
We're not doing this.
No, we are absolutely not doing this.
We are
Thank you,
not
Gary.
doing this.
I know.
It's on Paramount Plus.
Well, it's on quite a bit.
Yeah, it's on TV a lot.
And it lives on TikTok.
God, I love that movie. That's a great. I should watch. I have day off this weekend.
You should watch
Whoa.
Outlaw
Maybe
King.
I'll watch Rounders.
Should watch Outlaw King.
You're
Chris
gonna watch
Pine.
Training Day too.
All right. It's starting to sound like not much of a day off anymore. Chances are I won't be watching anything.
I
I'll be
actually
watching the NFL.
I'm actually mad at Josh
Whoa.
because
This is the NFL.
I actually watched a movie, which was shocking on Wednesday because I was like, oh, I have nothing else to do, so I'll just watch a movie. And I texted you about what I thought about the movie,
Oh, you
'Cause
did
you-
ask me if I had watched a movie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let me
and you never got back to me.
let me
and I-
address that publicly.
And I
here.
was and I was looking forward to like having a movie convo with my friend Josh about like 'cause-
recommend Outlaw King. Not a banger, but if you like historical war movies, it
Yeah.
hits the spot. No, I'm unfamiliar.
I love it. If you got a good historical war movie, anything to do with a king, I love a king movie. Minus Space Jam 2.
This is Chris Pine. in
It
this
is Chris
movie.
Pine. He is.
Mr.
Florence,
Pine.
by the way, Florence Pugh in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. My lord. Better than Little Women.
Mike McD just could not get out of his own way.
Oh
you
no,
know?
what did he do?
I'm talking about Mike McD in Rounders.
Oh,
Not Mike McD in that's Mike McDaniel, the head
Yes.
coach of the Dolphins. Mike McD
He can't get out of his own way either.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's why I immediately went there.
just had to get suckered back in by Worm.
It
Edward
was
Norton.
hey, that movie has aged really well.
Oh,
Like, 'cause
God.
it, what, 98? I think 98 is when
Mhm.
it came out.
Yes, 98.
Did you have it? I don't know, John. I forgot.
John Malkovich, Joey Knish. What a character. I forget about Joey Knish sometimes. Excellent character. This movie rocks.
It's a great movie.
So was it a good movie at the time, or is it like kind of a cult classic situation?
Great
Can
question.
you guys speak to this?
I remember it being well reviewed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because look at the cast,
It
and
was-
then Matt Damon,
yeah.
like that was
'Cause
just starting to take off.
It's one of those movies that I only heard of like when I went to college, and people are like,
64% on Rotten Tomatoes. So that's like
Yeah, that's not
right
good.
at the line
Okay.
is 60.
That's not good.
Yeah. It may be one of those movies that has aged well because of instead of the whole movie being out there, it has been clips. And also Matt Damon like started to take off.
The clips that I see sometimes are the one where he gets the old judges in the poker game, you know,
Yes.
and he's like, "I'll get you a clerkship or whatever it is." That clip goes around a lot, so I could see why people would be interested in watching it. And then they all respond in the comments and they say, "What movie is this?" And then they'll all say the wrong answer.
yeah.
They'll say, "This is actually Now You
Chasers.
See Me,"
Yeah.
or something like that.
It's The Martian.
The Martian. Now that's a
Oh.
movie.
Hell yeah.
That's a great movie.
That's a great
Mars will come to fear my botany powers.
and very popular at the time.
That Rounders was the classic. Dad was just scrolling around on the movie channel and it just popped up and he called me down and goes, "Hey, sit down, kid.
You're gonna need to.
You're gonna watch this.
We're gonna show you this right
Yes.
now.
That and
It's a big moment in your life.
The Sting
Never
uh,
seen The Sting.
Great
with
movie.
Robert Redford.
R.I.P.
That was another one where he goes, "Hey, you got that." And The Hangover too was one of those movies.
The Hangover 2.
The Hangover as well, not
Okay.
The Hangover
Oh,
2.
Yeah.
Hangover 1.
I was going to question your.
I haven't.
Okay, wait.
father's
So how old
parenting
were
there.
you when The Hangover came out?
I saw The Hangover when I was 11 years old.
And that was for the first time.
Yes, and Mom was pissed.
That feels okay. 11.
That's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you would be. I thought you would have been younger.
I think I was in the 10 or 11.
Well,
I
how
was
long
out-
had it been out? Let's see.
I don't know because I would have been 10 in 2012.
It came out in 2009.
Yeah, so I think my dad waited a minute.
So it came out when you were 7.
Yeah,
And then they decided to make Hangover 2, and then they realized they made such a bad Hangover 2 that they said, let's double down and do a third
Mom-
one.
And the third one was
Better.
like palatable.
Yeah, they should have
Yeah.
skipped 2.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, once
Never
you
go
leave
to
the-
Thailand.
Once you leave the American soil,
Yep.
see, the one that my mom got really pissed about was Dad took me to Hot Tub Time Machine when I was 8. She was
Nice.
really mad about that.
Why? There's
Because-
nothing bad that happens in that movie.
It was an R-rated comedy movie.
Guy gets his arm ripped off.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Oh
And
yeah.
well, I had to go and ask her about like Michael.
Are there any? Is there nudity? There's probably a little
I haven't
nudity.
seen it in forever, but Mom got really mad when I asked her about Michael Jackson. because there's a classic joke in the movie where he goes, they don't know what year they're in, so the guy goes, "What color is Michael Jackson?"
Michael Jackson is black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
I had only
There
known the white Michael Jackson at that point, and so Mom got really mad when I asked her that question. She was really
Something
mad
that no
about
parent wants to have to answer.
Hey, if you guys get a chance and it comes back to Omaha, go see the Michael Jackson musical.
I know you
Saw it at
Oh.
Orpheum.
you
The
saw that.
Orpheum,
I'm so pissed I
around
missed
the
it.
College World Series time. Great.
Did you ever get the chance to see Tootsie, the musical?
No.
No, but if you ever do,
Oh,
go to it. It's incredible. Have you been on Broadway? You've been on Broadway.
I've been off Broadway.
No, I mean, have you
Well,
watched a
what-
Broadway?
I have
what-
never
what-
been to a
what-
Broadway
what
show.
play
I've
were
been
you
to
in?
an off-Broadway
Oh,
show.
okay.
We went to one of those side theaters, and we went to a performance of The Fantastics.
Oh,
Pretty solid.
never seen it. Never
Small
heard of
little, probably 100-person theater off
Nice,
Broadway.
nice.
It was cool. I've never been to a Broadway show.
it. Wow, I want to.
Not on Broadway, not in New York anyway. I've been
Sure.
to a Broadway show like in
were
Omaha.
you
Yeah.
intending to go to Broadway, but it was too expensive or sold out, so you went?
That's correct. Yeah, you could just go right there in Times
You'll-
Square where everybody gets their tickets
You'll
and
see some gems.
100%.
on Broadway.
Yep, a lot of stuff going on there. We're like, what do we want to go see? And I can't remember what we actually wanted to see. And then somebody was like, hey, just there's a little tiny theater at a secret door, like half a block up there. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. We're looking for something to do that night.
There's like a group of people who saw Hamilton off Broadway before it became
Now
really
that's
famous.
cool.
And they just like happened to be like, oh, we've heard of Lin-Manuel Miranda. We'll just walk into this off-Broadway American musical, and then ended up seeing one of the greatest pieces of art made in the 21st
Isn't that
century.
amazing?
It's
That's
insanity.
a great story.
Insanity.
By now, everybody has seen Hamilton in person, right?
I have seen Hamilton in person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not in person, but I've
Okay.
seen it a number of times.
Because I thought, when they first were touring and the tickets were so expensive and they would sell out like that, they made this thing like, it's only coming to Omaha once.
Yeah.
And now it comes to Omaha
It's
every year.
definitely coming to Omaha more
See,
than once.
I,
Yeah.
I saw it in 2016 in Chicago. It was like one of the first times they had taken it off of New York and like into a different city. And it was the guy who was Lin-Manuel's understudy in New York. He was the Hamilton in the Chicago one. So it was
Sure.
a big deal. But we went the day after the 2016 election.
Fun.
And yeah, in downtown Chicago, the day after the 2016 election.
Excellent.
Dad was like, dude, you got to keep your head on a swivel. Like he was like, because I was 14 and he was like, and Dad's grown up in Chicago in the 80s.
One
Like,
day
he's-
you'll appreciate
yeah.
what we're doing right now.
Yeah, he was like he's grown, he's known in the South Side. My dad grew up there, and so he still kind of has that he's always looking around facade. It was the first time where he seriously looked at me. He's like, dude, you got to be careful. Like, we got to be very careful when we go down there.
Just
That was a
watch it.
memory I'll remember forever.
I'm not a Hamilton guy in particular,
Mm-hmm.
but I saw it. I got drugged to one a couple years ago at the Orpheum, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. But
I
but
love
I
it,
know
yeah.
people listen to this. People listen to the soundtrack like it's their favorite song.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I'm
do.
like, I don't. You guys are kind of
My
weird
wife did
that,
for about
but-
18
I'm
months
weird?
straight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think people who do that are weird, but that's okay.
it's
They're usually over it by now.
It's awesome for the plane. The Hamilton's like my go-to plane soundtrack.
All right.
Like,
Really?
'cause- yeah, because I get stressed on planes, and so I just,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I've
And
had a panic attack.
But what is it about Hamilton that
I don't know, man.
calms you down?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't really put a note to a feeling or anything like that.
Well, you should try
But
listening to other stuff and see if it has the same effect.
And-
Listen
and
to like
I'm gonna be honest with you. The
Lil
only
Uzi Vert or something like
the
that.
only things that get me that's wow,
That's
what a
a good thought.
segue.
Hillary Duff.
the only Gary knows this. The only things that get me through flights are Hamilton and old like wrestling promos.
That's wild.
Like the like little prepackaged shots that they show before a big WrestleMania match. Like that's what I watch when I'm on the plane. I don't know what it is.
Oh, listen to the one of Hulk Hogan at like WrestleMania 4 where he talks about Ultimate Warrior's plane crashing. Listen to that one.
No. I literally there was one flight where I watched the Stone Cold Steve Austin Rock My Way video, maybe for like 30 straight
Okay,
minutes.
so I got one for you. What do you
Yeah.
do? You guys think I'm weird for this?
Yes.
So when I really like Jim Croce. So how did Jim Croce die? Plane crash.
Yes.
All right. So Jim Croce comes on the plane, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Sure.
I think I need to skip. I love Jim Croce. I really want to listen to the Jim Croce song, but I don't think I want to listen to this right now.
You're like, I love I've Got a Name.
I
love it.
I
Favorite
do.
song.
But
Not gonna.
So you guys are cool with that?
I'm cool with that.
All right.
Look.
That's kind of Gary's like, that's kind of
like
weird.
touching the money. Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
I can't.
I'm not going to watch Sully.
There's a lot of people.
Okay.
Well, I watched Top Flight on a plane ride, and that was awesome. That calmed me.
They crashed though.
Exactly. Well, they almost do. I don't know. When that one guy like almost fell into the abyss. That was a tough scene to watch.
God, we might end up getting skunked this morning.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
Got to get that.
It's already 3 are done, down 3-0.
Did you
getting smashed?
Have you ever heard of the? I think it was Bill Burr. I don't know. Some very famous comedian had a joke about how there was like a God Isn't Real book that they were selling on the airport, and he saw somebody buy it, and then he was walking onto the plane.
Yikes!
And the comedian was like, "I do not want to take this flight."
Yikes!
Anymore.
Got a quote from Michael Jordan.
Okay.
On the stream?
No.
Hello, Michael.
His airness at Beth Page quote, "We got problems."
Yeah, Michael doesn't though.
That sounds like a Magic Johnson
He's
tweet.
gonna go to his house in the Hamptons in about 10 minutes.
But
He's
you know,
out of there.
He's probably gonna play 18 like in between these rounds. I think Michael Jordan has like the most rounds of golf played in the world.
Yeah,
Like,
there's 3 courses there, right? You can jump on the
Yeah.
property somewhere else.
Do you think that NBC is panicking right now because this
Yes.
is their big lead into
Yes.
the Packer Cowboy?
Yeah.
So they got all weekend of Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
And then
Oh
they
my
also
God,
they have when they're on USA right now, but in the afternoons I think they go to NBC. Then they have all day Ryder Cup tomorrow, leading into the whiteout. Then on Sunday they have all day Ryder Cup, leading into the Packers Cowboys, which they are treating, by the way, like the Super Bowl.
It's
Yeah,
bad.
they're all hands on deck. They're doing the
everybody-
show from
yeah.
Jura World.
Yep, the entire studio is at the on
why?
site.
Oh, because of Micah.
That's how you know it's
Who
a big game.
cares? Jesus.
People forget about Micah Parsons.
I think in the next crossover you should remind one of the hosts
I will.
about Micah.
I will.
Who's he playing this weekend?
people upset? Are people upset that he's not going to get like a video played or anything like that? He's not going to get a tribute at the game. Like, are there people actually upset about that?
I think it's too soon for any of that.
I don't. He only played there for 4 years. And by the way, too, we're acting like, yes, Jerry screwed up. I'm not saying that Jerry's innocent or anything like that, but the guy did have 2 more years left on his contract and forced his way out of the team. He did.
That's one way to put it.
He did have 2 years left on the contract.
2 years left in the contract.
He could have played it out, or he could have been like, okay, we didn't get it. You know, I'm just saying. It's not like everybody's saying that Mike is this like martyr and he's just so innocent. Like, he definitely played a part on getting out of Dallas too.
That's fair. It's fair. But it's still Jared's fault.
Before we get out of here, you guys got one game to watch in college football Saturday. Which one you watch?
Oh, great question. I'll go whiteout.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Forgetting that Georgia, Alabama is
I
over
know.
on ABC at the same time.
It was my second choice.
Okay.
Two
all
Big
right.
Ten pilled.
Good Big Ten weekend. They filled all 3 slots.
My second choice might be the first 8 minutes of Indiana, Iowa. Before it's 42 to nothing.
Yeah. Good
Oh,
point.
so you're not predicting an upset?
I'm not.
Hey, what do you think about that line? 7.5.
Yeah, a little stinky.
Yeah, isn't it?
A little stinky.
There are some people who think like are all over Iowa's side on that. Like
weird.
Kiddick Stadium is like some voodoo ground that like good teams just stop playing good football.
Well, I mean, they've had some success there. I just don't
Is
think
it?
they
Am
have
I?
enough weapons to score any points.
I'm surprised that that's a Peacock game.
I know.
too.
Well, it's such a good slate though. Like you're already full on all the other ones.
Is it?
CBS has Washington, Ohio State, and then Big Noon is Illinois.
So I
and
imagine that it would
USC.
because NBC's got Ryder Cup, so they don't have a slot at 2:30.
Am I?
Right.
Am I weird if I'm most excited for Washington, Ohio State?
No, I can't wait.
That's an awesome game.
It's interesting.
Like that is a very, very. It's a sneaky.
Get ready to
sneaky
learn
great game.
Damon Williams,
Mhm.
or Jonah Coleman.
Jonah Coleman.
Well, they got a corner, Takario Davis. And if he plays, I think Washington is going to have a good shot. If he doesn't play, because he's been on the injury report, it might be a tough day.
Wow,
It's a good weekend to have a bye.
hangs on one guy.
Well, because Ryan Walters, they run a lot of man. right? And like they've recruited in Washington to get these like long, lanky corners, right? In order to do that. And, you got Smith and Tate. If Davis is out and you don't have your best cover corner, I think that's going to be it's way tougher with the style of defense that they play if they don't have.
All right, let's go, Patrick. We need this hole.
Okay, Cantlay, not Reed. Okay, yeah, we're good.
Well,
All
he,
right.
he also is a non-favorite.
You guys have great weekend.
Hold on.
1 second.
Hold on. Birdie to win the hole.
This
on
is an
16.
no disseminating.
Ah!
What
are you
doing? He pushed it left. What a dumb
Idiot.
They're like, oh, Patrick, it's okay. You're still American. And I would say take their citizenship away.
Oh,
Actually,
Too soon?
Way too soon.
all right.
Have a good show. Have a good
That's
weekend.
the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It's Friday. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Friday, everyone. It's the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you here on this Friday. Bryan Munson will join us at the top of the hour. BC will move back a little bit later today. He'll go at 12:30.
Is there something special going on?
He's got he texted me this morning. Let's try not to tell everyone everything, but we like to be transparent here. He's got a dog situation.
Oh, okay.
He's dealing with the dog situation.
Okay, so it's not like, hey, there's somebody talking and I got to be there.
No.
Okay.
Nobody's talking. At the University of Nebraska today, anyway. So he is at 12:30 and Steve Sipple at 1. That's the lineup, powered by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'll take a look back at the NFL game from last night. I kind of developed this topic before the game ended last night, but we were going to talk about the yips and Maserati Marv and all those things. And then
what happened?
Then he caught a touchdown. It was cool, but they still lost. But he might not have the yips anymore.
But it got real close.
He looked really sad when he was catching those balls at the end of the game. Did you see his body language is horrible?
There was this
They have such bad vibes.
There was this weird thing that happened like 30 minutes before the game. Everyone who is an NFL insider said, I don't know, guys. Maybe Marvin Harrison Jr. is too much of a perfectionist and too much in his head to be a good football player.
Well, he's
everyone said the exact same thing, word for word, at the exact same time.
He's had a bad start to his season, and then he had a couple really bad plays in the game, and people are like, "Well, this is over." It wasn't. We like to do that a little bit from time to time, so we'll talk about that here in just a couple of minutes. Big weekend coming up. We'll go through each of the 4 big games in the conference this week. Sorry, Rutgers, Minnesota, you did not make the cut.
UCLA Northwestern
Sorry,
did, though.
UCLA Northwestern, you also did not make the cut.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
we get a storyline on the big ones for this weekend. We'll take a look at the final weekend of the MLB regular season, where there's still a couple things going on the line this weekend, including one of the worst records in modern history still on the line.
Ooh,
this
gettable.
Weekend. You know what I'm talking about there. Get ready for some yelling and screaming at Bethpage Black this weekend, or maybe not. Maybe it'll just be the library the entire time because America is canceled at golf.
Or we just pack it in this afternoon.
And also, are you triggered that Matt Rule sold you a bill of goods on the offensive and defensive line? You may be entitled to compensation.
Oh, okay.
That's right. I have a class action lawsuit for you that you could join right now. I don't think we'll win, but I hear this.
The lawsuit. I thought you meant
the lawsuit. Yeah.
Okay.
I hear this from people more and more. I can't believe he said that they were going to be good and they're not very good. We'll discuss that.
Why didn't he just say they were ass? What's the worst that could have happened? They all left? Yes, exactly that.
A part of the topic, Josh, for sure. So stay tuned for that. We are excited to talk to you guys today. You can call or text the number 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor Josh Show at 1620thezone.com, the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to the YouTube streamers today. Seen a lot of love outpouring for Matt Verzal today, who got that news yesterday that we lost Verz, shockingly and suddenly. A friend of 1620 The Zone, of course, been a guest on the morning show for years and years and years, and a friend of many in the Omaha community. You know, it's amazing. I had this thought, Josh, so I didn't know Verz very well. I talked to him just a couple times, but he's a former Husker. He was a part of 2 national championship teams and a local guy, a Grand Island guy. And I think it's pretty rare that you have a guy who is a former national champion and that's not what anybody knows him as.
that wasn't
that
former national champion Matt Verzal.
I mean, that's a great
yeah,
title.
Yeah.
That's a great title for Verz, and I'm sure he would accept that willingly. But
it's a great point.
It's friend of all, and it is successful business owner. It is coach.
Mhm.
It is mentor. You know, he was in a lot of people's lives. And he loved to give his time to, whether it be Scott High School or obviously Pisons waking up at ungodly hours in the middle of the night, you know, making sure people are happy, and or going in there, you know, and I've seen so many of these stories this morning of people going in there just like, hey, I've heard about this place and I've heard about this guy, like I got to see what this is all about. And everybody, like, to a person, has the same experience. Like, yeah, I sat there and Verz acted like he had known me for years. I had the same experience with Verz. I didn't, you know, I had listened to him for years and years on his various shows or morning spots on 1620 The Zone. I didn't really know him, but I kind of knew him as, you know, because I listened to him and I would hear his takes, and he had takes, you know, like
He did.
he has takes. He's an opinionated guy. And I would listen and I'm like, I can't really get a read on this guy, but everybody tells me that he's great. And so I went up to him. I think it was at a state championship game a couple of years ago, a football state championship game. He was doing the game on TV, and I went in there and I introduced myself, and I kind of thought my initial impression going in is like, oh, this guy, you know, is going to be a tough nut to crack a little bit. And he doesn't know who I am. I mean, he's not going to care about this, but you know, he asked, you know, a bunch of questions about me and the show and all these different things. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah,
there it is.
He really is like that. And what an unbelievable and shocking loss for our community. Certainly the people who are close to him. I really feel for, I mean, I really feel for Damon.
Yeah.
You know, those guys were so close.
Selfishly, that was one of the first things that popped into my head too. Was like, oh my gosh, Damon.
Yeah. And so there's nothing that we could say that makes it better, but man, I gotta say it's been cool to see this outpouring today. And I think, you know, he wasn't really like this, but I think he would enjoy like the stories that are being told about him today. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I had that impact. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, you don't necessarily know it until you get this opportunity to say a bunch of nice things about somebody, which is a bad way to go about business in our society. But this is the way it oftentimes works, unfortunately. But you know, the reach has been fascinating, and it goes back to the tie to Husker football.
Sure,
but then Omaha, and then local high schools, and being involved with seemingly every kid that was up and coming in the Omaha community, he had some sort of a connection to. So what a special guy. I really loved when they would have him on the morning show the weekend of opening day, and he would be in Chicago at like the Billy Goat or whatever. Like it's 9:30 in the morning, and he's getting after it. I'm like, I look forward to that one every year. That one was pretty good. So maybe the Cubs can come through for him over the next couple weeks or something like that. But
he wasn't a huge social media guy, but
no,
that was one of the things he let you in on.
The live tweeting.
I am in Chicago for 3 days, and we are getting after it.
It's going to be fun the entire time.
Yeah.
So
do Damon, Scott, and especially Gary as well. Like, just thinking of you guys this weekend.
100%, no doubt about it. We'll take a quick break here. We'll come back. If anybody else would like to share, stories, we'd be happy to pass them along. But man, I've seen quite a few of them this morning. And a tough loss for the Husker community, and of course our local community here in Omaha as well. We'll be back. We'll start things off, talk a little bit about the game last night. Bryan Munson will join us at the top of the hour. It's the Connor Happer Show on a Friday on 1620 The Zone. Welcome back. On a Friday, Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you. Bryan Munson will join us here in just a few short minutes. BC in the noon hour. Steve Sipple coming up at 1. We'll make our picks for the weekend. No keys, no history lesson to talk about today. So it's like it's football season and not football season. What do you mean, thank goodness? You don't want there to be a game this weekend?
The nerd history stuff.
It's not nerd stuff. It's asking
a little
you,
too close to school.
It's asking you to talk in a 1940s man accent.
I do love that.
And we had a chance last week, and you weren't here, sadly. It's very disappointing.
I read it, though. It was from what, 1905?
That was the first time they played, and the second time they played, I found an article from was 11.
Okay.
I think 1911. 2011. Go back to the game last night here in just a second. I did want to pass this along because I just saw it flash up on my timeline from MLB Communications. Regular season 9-inning Major League games that lasted 3 hours and 30 minutes or longer by year. Okay? 2021, there were 391 of them. 2022, there were 232 of them. And then in 2023, there were 9.
Whoa.
And then in 2024, there were 7. And now we have 3 games left a team going into this weekend. And there have been 3 the entire year. Regular season 9-inning games that lasted 3.5 hours or longer. Wow. There's been 3 the entire year. 3. That's right. Thank you, John. Appreciate that.
First comment on that tweet.
Hi.
First reply.
Oh. What do they say?
What's the impact on stadium concession sales with fans in the stadium for less time?
Great question. Who'd that come from? A owner? An owner of a team?
Omar Rana.
Maybe Omar owns a team somewhere. I can't imagine it's good. Because what do you do when you get bored? Go buy a beer. You go buy a hot dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nothing else to do. Go take a walk around the stadium. What are you going to do when you take a walk around the stadium? Buy a beer.
That smells good. That looks good. What's that guy got?
I always say to my wife, when we're at a game, I go, "You want to get up and take a walk?" And what I really mean by get up and take a walk is, I want to get up and stretch my legs or whatever, and I don't want to be so, around people. But you know what I'm going to do? I want to buy something.
Mm-hmm.
There's just not as much time to get up, stretch your legs, and buy something anymore. Now it's all game.
Who's there for that?
Is baseball too much game now? People are wondering. People are indeed wondering. Cody writes in on the text line.
Hi, Cody.
Josh, please tell me there is a pump-up speech today to get me ready for the weekend of football.
No, I don't have one for the bye week. I thought about it, but
you did. You thought about it.
I did. I thought that'd be funny if it got you pumped for the bye week. Made fun of some things people have said this week. Like I there was something there, and then I thought, you know what? It's a bye week for me too.
Take your time.
It's a bye week for my throat as well.
Bull question. Is it a bye weekend for your throat? No.
Don't love the way that came out.
Not a poll question. All right, so once again, developing topic throughout the game last night. Oh no, Maserati Marv. He has the yips. He can't catch the ball anymore. Kyler Murray looks awful.
Yeah.
This is a bad deal. Another woefully unentertaining Thursday night football game.
And then what happened?
And then everybody woke up a little bit. We got a fun finish out of the game. Nice little, the pass that Kyler completed to the guy who wasn't even looking to convert the 4th down. That was cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
The Cardinals trying to find their way without Josh. You've been obsessed with this week. Oh, we got to find a way without James Conner. Got to find a way with James Conner. Amari DiMercado scores the game-tying touchdown last night.
Good name.
It is a good name. What did you think of the jerseys? This is the debut of the rivalry uniform.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
So, actually,
I liked them.
I want to know what you thought first.
I really liked the helmet. The jersey it's fine. Loved the end zone.
What do you think about the speckles? Are you team speckle or are you team not speckle?
There's like a couple teams can get away with speckles.
I'm out on speckles.
Okay.
I don't want any speckles.
No speckles.
Yep.
I
think it would have been a very nice uniform had it not had the speckles.
Okay. I loved the
helmet was wonderful.
Yes.
It was
I loved the
fantastic.
gear.
And the gear was great. I honestly, that was my thought from it. The hoodie that Jonathan Gannon was wearing. I'm not a Cardinals fan at all, but I was like, that's a cool hoodie. I think I want to buy that hoodie. I don't know how much it run me on NFL.com, probably like $150. But I think I'd like to buy. Wouldn't it be funny if I showed up in that Arizona Cardinals hoodie?
It actually would be
It would be hilarious.
How
much did it run me, Josh?
I'm almost there. I got to get through the jerseys first.
Okay. No speckled jerseys.
Let's see. 90 to 110.
Okay.
Looks like.
All right. I mean, that's not like for weirdly enough for a hoodie these days, that's about where you're going to be sitting, right?
Yeah.
Not that much probably, but
it's an expense. It's on the expensive end, but still.
I probably wouldn't buy a $90 hoodie just for the bit. Because I wouldn't want to fall into the thing that Whopper is accusing me of.
Oh no! Hi, Whopper.
Interesting that Connor wants more time at games to buy things. #rich.
You can. Okay.
I'd like to take my time at baseball games. Okay.
So I should probably just keep my mouth shut, but
okay,
we're here anyway.
Okay.
You can get a Pat Tillman jersey in the style of
the rival jerseys.
They
made a Pat Tillman speckled jersey.
They did.
All right. I can't imagine why you wouldn't have wanted to say that, Josh.
Several reasons.
But is Kyler Murray any good? I don't think we've actually answered this question.
I think I'm ready to rule that the answer is no.
Also, Seattle's defense might be legit.
Again.
Yeah.
Did you hear Richard Sherman before the game?
No, I didn't. What was he saying?
They're talking about Russell
I didn't
Wilson.
listen to any of the pre or post game stuff last night.
Pre-game, somebody said Russell Wilson is playing himself out of the Hall of Fame, and I don't know that and Richard Sherman said, "Yeah, without those elite defenses in Seattle, he's 22nd, 34th, and 40th in the league in these stats or whatever."
Wait a minute. So they're taking away his defense? They're taking away the defenses that he had?
Well,
I mean, Russell Wilson was good in Seattle, objectively. Right?
Yes.
But he's saying he would have been nothing without his defense?
Richard Sherman.
I know, he was on the defense.
Of the Legion of Boom
yes,
fame.
I remember.
Yes. Is saying, yeah, without those elite defenses in Seattle, he's just not very good, is he? Well, he's also gotten significantly older since then.
Damn. Richard Sherman is a hater.
Yeah, I understand why Richard. Yeah, he's always hated Russell Wilson.
He has been a pretty big hater throughout his time. Richard Sherman is a big hater. All right, so that was football last night. We're excited for football this weekend.
Did you watch Army ECU?
Maserati Marv might not have the yips. He might be okay.
Might be back.
I did not watch Army ECU. What happened?
Wow. They just everybody just kept going for it on fourth down and not getting it.
Okay.
And
did anybody win?
ECU won.
Okay.
Matthew Berry was just enraged.
What was I don't get it. Why did they go there? Why did they do that? Why did the ESPN do that?
Why did they go to that game?
Yeah.
Well, it was the only one playing.
Okay. But they kind of blew it out. They had a bunch of people there doing
I think that was let's support our nation's military.
Oh. It was a home game for ECU.
ECU made a big thank you Army thing of it, which is very kind of them to do.
Well, our Army, just like our American golfers, got blown out last night.
Terrible.
It's over for America.
Pack it in. We had a good run.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. 11 o'clock hour. Bryan Munson will join us coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
Bryan Munson,
Hey, long call. Comfy left, zoom, buster. 63 bang, Z Maui, alert, Paradise, Z Burger, Y Wrap on one.
Husker Online on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend Bryan Munson from HuskerOnline.com. Munson, happy Friday. How are you?
Happy Friday, buddy. How are you doing over there?
I'm all right. Getting ready for a football weekend where you get to focus on some other things. We got a good Big Ten slate, it's good from a football perspective. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, kind of clear some things. I get to watch Eastern Michigan without having to set up another television, or that's awesome. I love that part. And then Bills should be pretty safe, although they've lost the last 3 to the Saints, and they still got some guys that are out injured on defense. So I think these are the types of weekends here where it's like I want to see what else is out there.
Yes.
It's like I want to go watch something I probably wouldn't have watched because the Huskers would have been on or something else would have been on, and I just want to go tune in and go, okay, I'm gonna sample some other things here a little bit just so I can kind of make sure we're not getting too myopic in our own little worlds, So
that's true.
I'm looking forward to sampling a little bit this weekend.
Okay, a little sample platter of football for Bryan Munson this weekend. I'm totally fine with that. There is plenty of options for you. All right, so let's get to some recruiting from last week. So Nebraska had a big visitor list, as we talked about, coming in for that Michigan game. They lost. One of the things we talked about last week was, hey, you kind of, you're getting to the point where it feels like you're going to have to win to really move the needle. That might still be the case. I can't imagine, though, recruits came in and saw that and thought, this is not a place where, where I want to be, right? So they're still going to love it no matter what. What was the sort of impact that you felt coming out of the last weekend?
No, you're spot on. I think that, you have two different environments. Obviously, when you lose a game, you have the one where you're just getting boat raced out of the stadium, and crowd is leaving. Start of the fourth quarter, and maybe even there's some booze hitting the field. As the team leaves the field at halftime. We've seen it before, and it's not a good sight. And then you just kind of, those are the ones there that I'm just not too excited about picking up the phone and calling anybody afterward. Hey, what do you think? That's a bad one to have to do. But and then you have the ones like you had on Saturday, and honestly, so many of the recruits thought that just even down to the wire that Nebraska was going to win. Now, I mean, I for one never felt like Nebraska was in control of that game, although at the same time I wasn't necessarily all that impressed with Underwood either. I just felt like Michigan's built like Big Ten teams need to be. They're dominant up front and they have a great run game. Nebraska, I thought, was better on the field at a couple different spots. So that being said, I thought that the visitors all came back with, this was a perfect other layer. Like we tried to emphasize last week, you and I, where we were talking about several of these guys, most of them actually were coming in for either their second or their third trip. And that this was another layer. This was another layer in what needed to happen when it came to building the relationship between Nebraska and the recruits. And it wasn't a miss. I mean, the Nebraska fans were referenced by every single one of the visitors that I spoke with. Guys that were there the first time, got a chance to see all the facilities. They loved it. And I think that the one big miss, that was kind of referenced by one guy was that I would have loved to have gone into the locker room afterward, but I guess there's just kind of a, hey, why don't you guys stay out today? Like, this is not going to be a good setting for you to see behind these closed doors.
Yeah.
So they kind of took that off the table, but ultimately very positive weekend. All of them talking about coming back again. I think that this is what we also kind of said was like the plan. Nebraska has to have a plan. So now it's like, can we get them back again in the fall? Do you need to get them back in the fall? At least they have an understanding like what a game day environment and atmosphere is like in Lincoln. Now you start talking junior day, spring practice, and spring game. and ultimately try to get an official visit, out of June. But I think the other thing, though, too, that I didn't mention in Tunnel Talk today is that Nebraska now has still all of these recruits, I think, kind of are on, Nebraska. It's one way. Recruits have Nebraska on their list. Nebraska's going to have to refine their list. I mean, you had 19, I think, kids in from the 2027 class. I think that's what 24 guys there from the 2027 group. I think maybe there were 35 official visitors this summer from the 2026 class, and that might be long. So there's going to be some refining, I think, on both sides. I think Nebraska's going to have to pull back their list a little bit or categorize them A, B, and C and kind of work forward in the spring.
Yeah. Bryan Munson from HuskerOnline.com is with us. The other story this week, Nebraska lost a commitment from Davion Bonwell-Whitty. What do you make of this? I mean, it's a guy who's been committed for a long time. What do you make of that? The timing of it, is there anything to read into with that?
Yeah, committed since October, but yet I think the decommitment's been a long time coming. I mean, it was actually, honestly, one of the couple of the reactions from folks on the board was kind of forgot he was even a commitment to begin with. There's been so little discussion about him. When we have brought it up, it's been like, hey, remember, he has not been to Nebraska yet for an official visit. When he was there, so like going back to October, commits to Garrett McGuire and Matt Rule while on crutches. He fractured his patella. Tough injury. Had one myself. It's tough. Comes back and it's slow. Goes in a track season. Logs some pretty unimpressive 100-meter times. Then kind of, then all the changes happen in Nebraska. Garrett McGuire's gone. Shorts comes in. Satterfield to tight ends. Holgerson to OC. A lot of personnel changes that I think just didn't kind of keep him in favor with when it came to, the coaches and what they want to do and other targets. Plus, we talked about it. Nebraska really re-stood up their entire board after, Tony White and others kind of left Lincoln. They went back and really just kind of brought in all brand new names. Nayland Scott wasn't a name that you or I talked about until January when he got an offer.
Right.
So, and now he's on the commitment list. So there was a lot here that he was up against, but Nebraska gave him an opportunity when he came in April, said, come down to camp. We need to relook at you. You need to make sure you're healthy. You need to make sure you fit. You need to get an eval on you. And it didn't happen. And I don't know if that's because he wasn't healthy or, whatever. But I mean, talking to other recruits, I was, hey, is Bonwell-Whitty still in the class? Oh yeah, he's still in the class. So this all happened very abruptly. And I would point at, Nebraska coming up on their bye week as a pretty significant event, and plus they offered another wide receiver like the very next day. I think they were just kind of finally said it's time to move on.
Yeah. And Rule was, where was Rule last night? I know he mentioned at the beginning of the week that he was going to be out on the road recruiting on Friday and Saturday this week. I know I saw a picture of him last night. I can's remember where he was. Where's Matt Rule this weekend? Okay, there you go.
Midland, which is pretty wild because I was just putting on the board that he was out there seeing Ahmad Hudson, who's obviously a massive 2027 recruit for Nebraska, probably the number one guy on their list, and a Ruston, Louisiana guy. And I was sitting there going, Ruston's about 3.5 hours east of me, and Midland's like 4.5 west of me. It's a heck of a road trip for Ruston. Like it's an 8.5, 9-hour drive for them to get over there. So yeah, he was out in Midland. I do anticipate Matt Rule being in Dallas. Talking to King Thibodeau yesterday at Garland Lakeview Centennial High School, who was supposed to visit Nebraska last week, he feels like Rule will be there either today or tomorrow. So I don't think it's tomorrow. I think tomorrow Kennedy Brown has his game on Saturday. So I'm thinking Rule is probably in Dallas today to see Thibodeau and then head south to Houston and watch Kennedy Brown tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah. I just saw a tweet from EJ Barthel that he's on the East Coast. Now Nebraska, as we talked about this way at the beginning, but they recruit a little bit more from like an area perspective, so it's not necessarily that EJ Barthel is out, looking at running backs. His connection has been made with a variety of different other positions. But I do want to ask you about the running back picture in general when you add the recruiting piece into it. We know where Nebraska's at right now on their roster. It's not necessarily in a great place, and we'll see how a couple of these young guys pan out going forward. They have one running back committed in their class right now. You had a note on him today in Tunnel Talk.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see when you look at that picture at running back, and what can Nebraska do to adjust and tweak going forward?
Yeah, to look at the running back picture, I think, really effectively, you had to kind of even pull in like EJ and how things are kind of going now with the inability to kind of establish anybody as like a consistent or a real number two. I put it in Tunnel Talk today that, I've got a really good Division I source, a guy that's played the game, and he and I were just happened to start chatting about Nebraska. And we don't always talk about Nebraska, but he brought it up, and he was just like, you guys, there's nothing to kind of compliment or to kind of then, just contrast EJ's running style when Nebraska brings in another guy. He was like, if you got this really kind of jump cut, quick guy, you need a little bit of thunder. Mm-hmm. You need a bigger back, and it's maybe what we were talking about earlier on this summer this spring when we started talking about Marty Brown. Marty Brown got a little bit of a bowling ball style, to him, where he's kind of yards after contact kind of guy. Could really come in there, I think, based on what he did at North Dakota State and coming home, Creighton prep guy, playing in front of family and stuff like that. And then just, I think that Rule probably spoke around it a little bit in the Monday press conference, just said the market got out of control. There was just nothing else they could do about it. So I think Nebraska could find themselves in a situation where Jamal Rule, who is down with a thumb injury right now, missed last week's game when he was in Lincoln. He missed the game the night before. And I think he'll be at least out for the next 2 weeks, maybe possibly 3, before he can kind of get back and get on the field. But, there's probably a pretty good chance that I think Nebraska is going to have to go to the portal. I think that they're going to have to go look for a guy that,
I would hope so, I guess. Yeah.
Shockingly, I would say looked a little bit more like Dante Dowdo, and like that, what he could have been like to the team this year. I think that literally the kind of guy that they're missing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I mean, I think they think highly of Ives, but you haven't really seen it yet. And he would be the only guy on the roster, I think, right now that fits that type of like physical description.
He's a big guy. But the thing about it is, it's like, I haven't really seen him run between the tackles. I've seen him run, hit the corners, and I've seen him hit the corners against, not against Michigan. And I wonder if he would be able to pull that off, I think, against Big Ten competition. I think that angle is going to get sawed off pretty quickly.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's maybe my personal opinion on that one. I think you're better off trying to find a guy that's a little bit more consistent from C to C, and somebody that's going to be inside the tackles, yardage after contact, keep the feet moving, kind of get those tough yards. But somebody that's, I think, going to help. I think to kind of help the overall offense, to kind of tuck her out of defense. They're just the guy when they see him run in because of personnel, that they just go, oh, I really rather see the other guy. Okay, hand in the dirt, let's go.
Yep.
I think you want that kind of running back in your backfield. But I think the other side of it is too, there's probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 spots left in the 2026 class. But then I think you got to go back then and address the portal. And I think they're going to be heavy again in the offensive line, probably 1 interior, at least 1 offensive tackle. And I think it's then running back to kind of shore up what you have going kind of offensively, and then they'll have to take a look and see if the other wide receivers are ready or if they have to go out and get another wide receiver or two.
Yeah.
So I think the offense, unfortunately, is in this very predictable bad pattern when it comes to not having the talent necessarily reloading through the high school class kind of part of it, to where it's taking the pressure off them going to the portal. So that's going to be very interesting to see how the GM kind of navigates through that in the spring.
No doubt about it. Bryan Munson from HuskerOnline.com. Okay, Munson, enjoy your sampler platter this weekend. Great to talk to you as always, and we'll talk to you soon.
Have a great weekend, buddy. We'll see you.
Bryan Munson from HuskerOnline.com. I like that. The sample platter. Yeah. So I was thinking about that running back thing think about what they have right now, right? I mean, every day on the show, we talk about what they don't have at running back. Emmett, Mekhi Nelson, who is an underthought of type of recruit. And then Ives, and then Mosey, who came in as a wide receiver, started playing running back out of necessity because they feel like he could, make a play there. Is he a long-term running back? We'll see. It's just really, really thin there. And then you have one guy in the class who's committed right now, and he mentioned him, Jamal Rule, R-U-L-E, out of Charlotte, 3-star player. He's hurt right now. And it's like, what is going on? Maybe I'm just spoiled, but I just feel like Nebraska should be able to, nothing against those guys either. But I look at the room and I'm like, there's no way it should look like that. And then I look at the recruiting class, and they've probably missed out on, it's not like they're just getting beat out either because they don't have strong running back history. Like I think I can think of one case where that was the case in Matt Rule's time. And that was Lacey, and he's basically starting at Ole Miss right now.
Good place to be.
So they haven't, they haven't really. I thought really highly of him. I think everybody thought really highly of him, and they were disappointed when they lost him. But that's kind of it. The rest of those guys, I just find myself kind of underwhelmed by it. I mean, think of even Emmett. Like, Emmett is a good established college football player right now, but as far as a recruit was concerned, I mean, nothing. He was an undersized, 3-star guy who was athletic and kind of a scatty type of guy from Minnesota. And, I didn't think that he would develop into what he is right now. Give him credit for doing that. I still don't think he's a great back. Right. So I just think that room they got to really, really put the under construction sign out there and start to go to work there.
That's a dilemma.
It is a bit of a dilemma, Josh. It is. Munson was like, well, I think they might have to go to the portal. If they don't go to the portal, something is horribly wrong. I mean, something is already horribly wrong. But they need to go to the portal and get multiple running backs and make their intentions known and pay for them. There's also this thing going on behind the scenes where people talk about that running back spot and they're like, well, they don't really value that position very much because they approach it like the NFL. Give me a break. This is college football.
It's Big Ten.
This is the Big Ten. This is college football. You realize what kind of impact it can have if you have a difference maker at running back. Maybe it doesn't make that much of an impact at the NFL, although I would argue that it does. But come on, man. You got to have some better guys. That's all.
I think that is proven itself to be true.
Thank you,
already
Josh.
This season.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Theo writes in.
Hi, Theo.
Happer Show criticized Barney last week and lifted him to new heights. We're like that podcast.
Not
are you sure it wasn't
with Kylie Kelsey?
Are you sure it wasn't Brad Nessler calling him Jacoby Blarney?
Jacoby Blarney.
Jacoby Blarney.
Man, guy can't even say my name yet. Right? I'll show him.
Yep. I wish he would fall down less, but I'm a big Jacoby Blarney fan. That's for sure. Hokey Scurry says, I really want to see Parker step up next year. Me too. Me too.
Parker.
I mean, they got some guys in the roster that it's just like, yeah, I hope that they could be a developmental. I don't know, man. I've said this at running back for a long time. I just think if you have a guy at that position,
a dude.
Yeah, you're going to pretty much know right away. That doesn't mean that they can't develop into good players. Emmett developed into a good player. Maybe Jameer Parker develops into a good player. Maybe Ives develops into a good player. Maybe Mekhi Nelson develops into a good player, whatever. But, like, I want a guy where you know right away. When Amir showed up, you knew. When Rex showed up, you knew. You know? They could get guys like that. There's nothing preventing them from doing so.
Just got to identify them and go get them.
We'll be back. Got something in my inbox from the Big Ten Conference.
The Big Ten?
Yes, they are doing a new fun initiative.
Okay.
I'll tell you about it. We'll take a look ahead at the weekend. Plenty to come on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, just one quick follow-up here on the running back thing.
All right.
So we get a comment from Husker Country on YouTube.
Hi, Husker Country.
If your offensive line can't run block, Walter Payton back there won't work. So I know this is something along these lines. It's basically a Mad Lib. But something along these lines is very popular to say. Hey, it don't matter what you do back there. You could have Walter Payton back there. If you don't have an offensive line, you can't run the ball. I just disagree. Now, obviously, if there's nobody standing there letting the 11 players run through the line of scrimmage, then yes, you have a problem. But I don't believe that Nebraska is in that situation right now. I think there has been a lot of this over the last several years of just pinning all of Nebraska's problems on the offensive line when Nebraska has not really recruited or developed a single running back since Amir Abdullah. This is 10 years plus. Okay. It's like, can't do any of that. Why even worry about getting a good running back until you get a good offensive line? Well, why don't you just try? That'd be my advice. They should try. So okay. I disagree with this sentiment. I do think a good to great running back can make a significant difference regardless of the offensive line that you have in front of them. I'm talking about making people miss and explosive runs and stuff like that. And I think you could do that. And I also think the offensive line is not as bad as some people want to make it out to be. But that's just me.
It's bad.
It's not. It's actually not that bad. Nebraska's offensive line is not that bad. We've seen a lot worse. That's for sure.
Okay.
Their tackles got their butts kicked on Saturday. I get it, but people are doing way too much with that this week. Oh, their offensive line stinks. But anyway, I don't know. I'm not going to convince you guys. So I think that they could afford to have better running backs. I don't feel like that's very hot of a take, personally. To the inbox, Josh. So we get a message from the Big Ten Conference this morning.
Hello, Big Ten Conference.
The Big Ten launches new rivalry series presented by Venmo.
Ooh.
Would you like to learn more information?
I would definitely like to learn more about this. I love rivalries.
Out of Rosemont, Illinois, the home of the Big Ten Conference on Friday revealed the football lineup for the first ever Big Ten rivalry series presented by Venmo, spanning football, men's and women's basketball during the 2025-26 season. Rivalry series will kick off tomorrow in State College when number 3 Penn State welcomes in number 6 Oregon to Beaver Stadium. Once again, this is called Rivalry Series.
Rivalry?
The football slate will feature 17 games involving all 18 Big Ten schools with 8 different long-standing rivalry trophies contested in the old brass spittoon, Floyd of Rosedale, Victory Bell. The series will also shine a spotlight of some of college football's biggest matchups like Michigan State, Penn State's visit to Ohio State, and Oregon's season-ending clash with Washington. You can find a complete schedule below. By the way, Nebraska's game against Iowa is a part of the rivalry series.
The Heroes game. Yeah.
The way this reads to me is this is just a weird excuse to create some sort of sponsorship opportunity for Venmo. I don't really think that anybody should probably pay attention to this.
Look, we really need to be doing some Venmo ad reads during these games. How can we get some more Venmo ad reads during our Big Ten games?
I will say that the first thing that people notice, it's kind of odd that the Big Ten football rivalry series presented by Venmo starts with Oregon and Penn State. Now,
classic Big Ten rivalry.
I'm not a huge college football historian.
Oh, you're not? You do the history lesson every week.
I do. It's limited.
Okay.
Right? My purview is limited. Would you like to guess, Josh, how many times ever, including last year's Big Ten championship game, Oregon and Penn State have played each other? Do you know the answer to the question?
Classic Big Ten rivalry. So, but it's a big conference, so you don't get to play each other every year. I'll say a dozen times.
That would be a normal amount of time. Now, a normal amount of games for a rivalry game, you'd think that it'd be played 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 times.
This is the new Big Ten, though.
Yes. These two teams have played each other 5 times. Ever. College football's been around for a long time, Josh. They played in the Big Ten championship game last year.
Over 150 years.
Yes.
Remember those patches?
They played in 95 in the Rose Bowl. They played in 64, 63, and 60 in the Liberty Bowl. Oregon, that is Oregon and Penn State's history. And they have now been, and Penn State already has a rivalry series Venmo game presented by Venmo with Ohio State coming up on Saturday, November 1st. And so I can't understand for the life of me why this is shoehorned in there. But so does Oregon, for the record. But shout out to Venmo. They get their sponsorship.
So this is the first time since 1964 that they've met in the regular season?
Correct. Yeah.
Rivalry.
95 Rose Bowl and then the Big Ten championship game last year.
Look what an expansion of college football took from us. Great rivalries.
Once again, it's just a sponsorship thing.
I just really want to thank Venmo for bringing these two classic Big Ten rivals back together where they belong.
Thank you, Venmo.
Thank you, Venmo.
I appreciate Venmo.
I do appreciate Venmo.
I sometimes appreciate Venmo, except for when people steal my money.
Yeah, I know you had a bad run-in with some ne'er-do-wells.
My money has gone unstolen for a couple years now. I didn't want to jinx it, though.
It's nice when, like, hey, we ordered pizza. Well, I didn't know we were going to order pizza. I don't have cash. Here's $7.
You're Venmoed someone $7?
I have before, and I will again.
I would just not accept your $7.
What a great friend you would be.
Yeah,
hey, buy me a beer.
Get
me on the next one.
You're an adult, Josh. You're almost 40 years old. You're going to a place where people are making you pay them $7.
I don't
to pitch in on pizza.
It's probably more than that.
You just wanted to toss in.
Yeah, it was a random number.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. It's not a specific instance from my past.
Honestly, I'm not even asking. Yeah. I'm not even asking.
That's why you're a good friend, Connor.
I'm not asking for the money, and I'm also not asking how much I should pay him. So I'm a good friend, but it also evens out with being a bad friend. So you tell me. All right. So MK writes in, by the way.
Hi, MK.
I was told Penn State was unrivaled. Well, not according to the rivalry series presented by Venmo.
It's a good line.
Speaking of the rivalry series,
I'm sorry. One more question.
Yes.
Is Ohio State, Michigan a Big Ten rivalry series presented by Venmo?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Boy, this is awkward.
I wonder why that is. Is it at all because that game maybe already has some sort of a sponsorship attached to it?
Yeah, maybe.
It has to. Once again, it has to be just a sales thing. Is there any way we could pile these all together and then put a tiny Venmo logo in the bottom of the screen? Of course. Let's create something fake. It happens all the time.
So the whiteout isn't the Gus Johnson game, obviously, this week, but
no.
I would love to hear Gus Johnson read an ad.
Presented by Venmo. I Venmo Jim Jackson all the time for cigars. Thanks, Jimmy.
Whose shirt did he have to borrow?
I'll see you this year at the
ago?
Crown. Las Vegas. Corn and soybeans. That's right, Josh. Ohio State and Michigan are not in the Big Ten rivalry series presented by Venmo.
All right.
There are many rivalries, but not that one. Anyway, speaking of the Big Ten rivalry series, like I said, it begins this weekend. Penn State and Oregon, a great rivalry, as we've mentioned before. All eyes on Drew Aller this weekend. I know that we sort of move the goalposts for Penn State. I'll admit it. We do. What do we say? Penn State can't win a big game. Penn State wins a bunch of big games. Penn State, win the next one. Win the national championship, okay? Yeah. Penn State's a top, 5 team coming into the season. They're like an almost national championship favorite. It's like, I don't know. People do that with Penn State. And I get it. They have failed a lot of the times when they've got to these big moments. Here's where I'll move the goalposts for Penn State this weekend. I just think in order to make them a true national title contender, in my mind, it comes down to how Drew Aller looks. I'm not sure we've seen him be a difference maker in this type of game yet. I know that's super specific. Once again, we move the goalposts for Penn State a lot.
The Drew Aller game.
Can he actually be a reason or the reason why Penn State wins a big game? You got an elite team. You got two teams who played each other in the Big Ten championship game last year. And Penn State has been no stranger to these games before. But remember, their college football playoff wins last year were against who? And people like to discredit them for this all the time. They won a game against Boise.
And
I think their second one was against who did they beat in the second game of the Georgia.
SMU Boise.
SMU and Boise. I'm sorry. Yes, SMU and Boise. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So people are just like,
Did you really win a playoff game?
Exactly. So we discredit them a lot. But mostly because we just haven't quite seen it yet. And Drew Aller is the type of guy that could take them to that next step, and he hasn't really done it. I think people, sort of look at him and they say, well, he's a fine player, he's a good player, maybe he ends up being an NFL quarterback one day. But there's just boxes that he hasn't checked in his career, other than winning a whole bunch of games. There's just boxes that you want to have him check before he gets to that next level and he becomes, he could have a Heisman moment this weekend if he gets into that conversation. It's been an up and down start for them this year. But of course they have not played anybody except for the mean and mighty Villanova Wildcats.
Yeah. Well, now you have the added pressure of, hey, rivalry series presented by Venmo. Is that going to be too much for Drew Aller to get past?
Maybe it makes it a very big game. It makes it a very, very big game. And then for Oregon, I find it funny the way we talk about Oregon. It's basically the opposite of the way we talk about Penn State. Oregon with their coach, with their DNA. Is there anyone that doubts the stuff that they are made of? Is there anyone that doubts that they are built for trying to go across the country and win a type of game like this? Now, back in the day, you used to think, well, Oregon's this West Coast program, and they got cool jerseys, and they're flying high and all this stuff. They've been able to tweak that. They've still kept the coolness of the brand and all this Oregon-ness about them, but now they have tweaked it to it's tough, it's physical, it's demanding, it's a program that has an edge to it. So is there anyone that doubts the stuff that they are made of? I don't. Because normal teams go on the road, normal teams go across the country to one of the best teams in the country, and it feels like a trap. It doesn't feel like it's that for Dan Lanning's Oregon Ducks, at least not in September. And remember, people are like, oh, this whole cross-country thing, can they really do it? And they're kind of lucky they get Penn State in September instead of November. They went on the road last year and beat Wisconsin and Michigan in November. Twice in 3 weeks. Wisconsin wasn't much last year. I get it. Michigan also wasn't in their best form. But going halfway across the country to win in those places in November, like I said, nobody doubts the stuff that Oregon is made of. So I am very, very excited to watch this game in this rivalry series presented by Venmo. Presented by Venmo.
Yeah, this is, we've had this whole weekend circled since the off season. Like, hey, Nebraska's going to be off and we get to watch this great slate of games.
Thank you, Venmo.
Yeah, thank you, Venmo. This is one of them. And if you are schools with the goals that both of these two schools have, this is one of the games that you're supposed to win. Now, I think both of these teams will still find their way into the college football playoff, but certainly a great measuring stick. Let's see where you stand on September 27th.
Yeah. We got into that narrative a little bit last year. The idea that these games are now less significant because both teams, what's really at stake for both teams. I actually don't know if that's the case with this one. Now, like you said, it's very likely and possible that with a loss, a losing team could still make the college football playoff in that game. But you think less of them, especially if it's Penn State.
Oh yeah.
If they lose this one at home to Oregon, it's like, oh boy, I don't know. I'm never going to pick them to go to the semifinal or the final or whatever it might be. So I think that's the thing that I find myself thinking about going to this one. It's a game that is set up to be very difficult for Oregon, going all the way across the country to play in a whiteout at night. And
haven't lost the whiteout since 18.
This entire thing. But like I said, I think they're made of tougher stuff. I just think they're made of better stuff from a DNA perspective. And that makes for a fascinating matchup, between these two teams. I can't wait to watch the game on Saturday night. I want to get into a couple of the other games as we go on throughout the show. We'll look at our West Coast weekend. Further, Washington getting to play host to Ohio State. Then we'll have round 2 of moving the goalposts with the Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah, what are you going to say about them now, Connor?
What am I going to say about them now? A great question. You'll have to stay tuned to find
Don
out
6
as we go on throughout the show today. We'll take a quick timeout. Josh has the odd news when we return on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But first, a reminder, you still have a couple more days through about midway next week to get in for your chance to win 2 tickets to the Ultimate Blur Tailgate Party. The game, of course, next Saturday in Lincoln against Michigan State. Head to 1620thezone.com right now and enter for your chance to win 2 tickets to the Ultimate Blur Tailgate Party. John and Michael will be there doing their pregame show, and many, many red-clad fans getting ready to head into the stadium. Once again, 1620thezone.com. We want to get you into the Blur Tailgate next Saturday against Michigan State.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
All right, folks, time for the odd news. Let's get to it. Josh, what do we have today?
We have a story out of the Bay Area, San Francisco. Ever heard of it?
Yes.
Okay, good for you. From billboards to wedding bells, one Bay Area woman is taking a bold and public approach to find a husband. Some people are on the dating apps. Not everybody likes the dating apps. So you got to think outside the bun on this one. If you've been on the Highway 101 recently, which I don't think you have, Connor, I'm just going to talk about that for you.
You're going to talk about Highway 101?
Yeah. There's a string of billboards along Highway 101 that just say marrylisa.com, where
let's check it out.
Bay Area realtor and bachelorette Lisa Catalano has been running billboards to try and find herself a husband.
Go on marrylisa.com right now.
Yeah, you can fill out the application. You're going to need to give her the likes, the dislikes. What are your non-negotiables? You love the bear. You love talking non-negotiables. It just comes down to chemistry, she said. It's been up the entire month.
Hey, no better way to cultivate chemistry than getting a bunch of resumes from a website that you can completely detach yourself from.
It's real personal.
Interesting idea by Lisa. She sounds horrible.
Not at all. Well, why don't we get people talking about realtor Lisa Catalano?
Interesting.
Just going to be my guess.
She's got a little video here.
Oh, video.
Huh? Let's see. 42 seconds. Looks like she's putting herself through a Q&A. And the first question, she gives her take on kissing on the first date.
Okay.
Lisa's thoughts.
Yes or no? Pro or con?
Let's see. Can I get the closed captions on?
Oh, yeah.
I will definitely kiss on a first date. I have before, and I will do it again. I have no problem with kissing on a first date if that's something where you feel like that's the natural progression of things, and if things are going well, and if you're interested in one another. I don't think there's anything wrong with kissing on a first date. I tend to initiate quite a bit on the first date.
Hello.
And I think that it is a really good and effective way at figuring out if you have the right chemistry on that date. Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with it. www.marrylisa.com.
I'm real. I'm not looking for fame. I guess that was something that came up too. I'm definitely a real person. This is a real endeavor, and my primary goal is to meet the love of my life.
And I'll smooch you without you even asking. Get ready for some smooching. Well, she doesn't sound horrible at all.
Okay.
Great catch for somebody.
We stay in California for story number 2. I'm unfamiliar with where is it Raphael or Raphael?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That would be the area of California in which we're
My guess would
heading.
be San Rafael. Yeah.
Very mean squirrel is.
This is also in the San Francisco area.
Okay, great. People are on the lookout. If you're on a date with Lisa and you say, hey, let's go through a walk in the park, you are going to want to watch out for the quote, very mean squirrel that has sent 2 people to the ER. 2 separate people. Like it's on a
maybe it
said
Mary or what's her name?
Mary
Katie?
Lisa.
Yeah. Lisa. Her name is Lisa.
It clamped onto my leg. The tail was flying. I was like, get it off me. Get it off me. I didn't want to touch it. Joan Heblack told a local news station. Another resident, Isabel, said she and her daughter were attacked by the rambunctious rodent while walking. Isabel ended up going to the ER with a wound to her arm. Marie and her husband, Joe, had a confrontation with the squirrel when he tried to get the animal to stop biting his wooden fence.
You know, this is very interesting.
There's flyers in the neighborhood warning residents.
I just hope there's no point for me where I'd have to maybe encounter this, maybe you don't go, maybe you take another route to get to where you're going.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do, Mom.
Yeah.
We just won't go that way.
I mean, you gotta, if you're flying into like SFO and you're trying to go up to say Napa for a weekend or something like that,
theoretical situation,
you would have to go through San Rafael.
Oh, wow.
And then you might get eaten by a squirrel. So that would not be good.
This is not a joke. The Flyers read more than 5 people have been attacked by a very mean squirrel over the past few days.
Wow.
The local wildlife, something or others have said that the squirrels do not carry rabies.
That's good.
They do turn aggressive when fed by humans, which is probably the case in this instance.
This sounds more like an East Coast squirrel.
Oh yeah,
I'm surprised.
You always hear kids, like particularly like freshmen, like, "Oh my gosh, the squirrels are so different on this campus." Yeah, that's because they're used to you. They're used to people. They don't care about you.
But it's interesting. It's turned aggressive. Usually they're pretty docile.
Finally, we head up north to Seattle, where
big dumper.
The Mariners won a game, Connor. Yet again, they beat the Rockies. And America's sweetheart, Cal Raleigh, was seen after the game wearing this shirt. Your thoughts?
Interesting.
For the radio and podcast audience, it's a shirt. It appears to have a bowl of, I don't know what that is. It might be ramen or something. There's all sorts of ingredients outside the bowl. Yeah, Vietnamese soup.
It's pronounced pho.
And
for the record, it's pronounced pho.
The shirt has some type of hieroglyphics on it that says PHO space KIT. It's a kit to make your own pho at home. That must be what this shirt is. Connor Happer, your thoughts?
What an interesting thing to put on a shirt. Hopefully no one makes the mistake of saying that in Seattle. We should comb the Seattle airwaves today and make sure nobody says it.
Now here's the interesting part of the shirt. I'm going to point you to Cal Raleigh's right bicep, the right sleeve of the shirt.
Yeah.
Where the Mariners trident is present.
Yeah.
This is somehow a Mariners officially licensed t-shirt.
What? I don't. Maybe you just had one of the equipment guys make it.
Maybe,
and
maybe.
He knew it was going to be a one-time deal. So you're going to take a BP in it. Might as well just put a Mariners logo on it.
Yeah,
something like that. Unfortunately, now for the Mariners, they're going to have to sell this.
Oh yeah, and they're going to have to sell pho at the games during the playoffs.
Yeah, I would never say anything like that. For the record.
Okay. So
I would never say anything like that.
I can't trick you into reading this t-shirt.
Not anymore.
On the air.
You might have used to be able to.
It's a kit to make your own pho at home. What a great idea.
Not anymore. Shout out to Cal Raleigh. He seems like a funny guy. I enjoyed his home run the other night, his 60th, and we played it on the show yesterday. And I'm sure he's quite the competitor, but he just seems like a really happy-go-lucky guy.
He looks like he does not care about any of this.
Yeah, I mean, he was excited. He was yelling at his dugout when he hit the home run, and it was really cool. And obviously, his teammates love him. But he just kind of rounded the bases like, la da da da, hit my 60th home run. This is funny. Isn't that the vibe that you get?
Absolutely.
This is all really funny. What's happening right now? And he's now steering into that with his fun shirt. Cool shirt.
Fun Shirt Friday.
Fun Shirt Friday. Maybe it'll be Fun Shirt Friday yet again for him tonight. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That is the odd news. We'll come back. The noon hour is up on the other side. Brian Christopherson will join us at the bottom of the hour. Plenty to look forward to this weekend. And what are you triggered about? Coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
He has the latest sports news, expert analysis, award-winning commentary, and a pocket full of cabbage.
Can you give us an indication why?
Just in case there's a sauerkraut emergency.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right. Welcome back. Noon hour, the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. A little check-in from the roads from Alex Sindelar, who we trust implicitly. Sindelar writes in on YouTube, it appears that everyone on the road has lost their minds today.
Oh, no.
Does it appear this way? It maybe appears that way every single day. All the days. You know, this morning, I got behind the paint, the line painters.
Oh no. Why would they be doing that at that time of day?
Great question, Josh.
Okay.
It's, you know,
I know your schedule. Hey, it's 9 a.m. Let's go paint those lines.
I just usually they do that stuff in the middle of the night. But whatever, you know, I don't know. I'm sure they got other jobs that they're doing too, but really 60th and Dodge at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's kind of interesting.
Very.
That's all. Yeah, it appears that everyone has lost their mind. I'm usually one of those people who has lost their minds on the roads, both in the morning and in the evening time. You know, I was talking about this with somebody last weekend. It was amazing because I was here and I was driving during the Nebraska football game last week. And every time I do that, I'm reminded that is the best time to do anything. During the Nebraska, unfortunately, you have to give up the Nebraska football game. You won't be able to watch the Nebraska football game live. But the city is just a little bit, you know, a lot of its people are in Lincoln. A lot of people are sitting at home watching the games. Nobody's really out doing stuff. You want to get something done. You want to do it in a timely manner so you don't get triggered. That is what you have to do. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do, Josh.
Pro tip, good time to go to the grocery store if you don't like people.
That's what I'm saying.
You're like, oh my gosh,
precisely.
It's normally so crowded. It just kind of gives you a little anxiety. Go during the Nebraska game.
Precisely.
Now, they don't play it on the radio overhead on the store speakers like they used to.
Like I said, you just kind of have to give it up.
Yeah.
This weekend, you will not have the option to give it up because it does not exist.
Can't give up what isn't there.
Exactly. Wow. All right. So noon hour here with you on the Connor Happer Show. One thing that I've heard this week, by the way, yes, Hookie Skirt writes in, Jabari Watkins 4-star commits. I'm at the point where I'm starting to feel more and more like an old man on commitments and stuff like that. You know, I used to have a problem with these people, but now I'm becoming one of them. It is whenever a wide receiver commits, I'm like, why isn't it a running back? Do you even care? That's the point that I've reached with the running backs. It used to be like, what about tackles? What about offensive linemen? And, you know, whatever. Like they need those too. But I'm thinking, wide receiver, that's fine. Just, can I have a running back that is good, please?
You're perilously close to being.
I'm very old, Josh.
Run the damn ball guy, and you just won't say those words in order.
No, see, I don't. That's not how I feel about offense. I feel as if Nebraska has been not purposefully, but like by choice over the last 10 years, just neglecting the position. It's not right. It doesn't feel right to me. We'll look back at this time and we'll say, oh my God, they had one 1,000-yard rusher in like 11 seasons. That is the most ridiculous crap I have ever heard.
It's more of
and shocking that it coincided with the worst time since the Bill Jennings era. I mean, it's almost like we'll draw that conclusion one day and we'll see that.
It's more of an off-season question, but do you recall any of the media say, hey, Matt, what's What's your general philosophy on
the
running back?
Yeah, and he's like, it's been devalued in the NFL, and so
But this isn't the NFL, man.
I know.
You just said that in the last segment, but
we just feel like we can develop guys, whatever, at that position. Maybe they can. Like I said, Emmett's developed into a nice player.
Maybe just try and get
that kind of came out of nowhere. I never thought that Emmett would be a good player at Nebraska. I never thought. I mean, when he came in, I never thought that Emmett would be Nebraska's number one workhorse starting running back. Now, some of that is because of what else you don't have on the roster. I don't think he should be their workhorse starting running back right now. I think he should be at his carry share with somebody.
He has
somebody who doesn't
default.
exist. Yeah. Or somebody who left anyway in the offseason. Not to make this too hard on Emmett. It's not all on Emmett. Like, Emmett needs some help. And, the room. So anyway, I've grown into a triggered old man.
Sad.
As it pertains to recruiting.
Father Time is undefeated, though.
Wide receiver commits, and I say, Gah! Why? Doc writes in.
What's up, Doc?
Nebraska has turned into an air raid program that cares more about wide receivers than running backs. Maybe that's why they could barely make a bowl game and win games. It doesn't have to be a one or the other thing for me. That's what people don't understand. Like Josh was just like, you sound like a run the ball guy. No. I like when they get good wide receivers. It's a good thing. But I do think they're okay there right now, and they've recruited it. And there's a couple of young guys who are coming up who are going to eventually be pretty good, like Quinn Clark and Cortez Mills. They're coming. And I know they had a wide receiver decommit. Maybe that has something to do with what happened today. Once again, I'm not against good wide receivers. I think you need those also. But every time a commit happens, I'm like, why isn't it a running back? Please. Make me feel better.
Does Dayton know anyone?
Dayton Raiola?
Yes.
He's not much of a hobnobber.
He's not. He's really not.
Which I like about him, for the record.
He's just all about ball.
I like that about him.
Yeah.
He's a tough SOB.
I think we'll find it very refreshing when it's all said and done.
Oh, he's definitely not like his brother.
I tell you, whoa, hey, your words, not mine.
They're just different personalities. Aaron writes in.
Hi, Aaron.
Having said that, they did have two running backs, three if you count Mosey, recruited last draft class. One is hurt, one is down the depth chart, and the other is Mosey. Also, way less big-time running backs now. Guys don't want to play running back because they don't get paid. They get hurt. CTE. Also, no big-time names at that spot like they used to. They play other positions. God, I hope that's not true. I mean, I see your point, though.
There's some points in there.
So is the point that this is Nebraska has fallen victim in part the not having a running back over this period of time because what? Because it's a cultural problem with
nobody has a good running back
with
anymore.
Running backs. Like this, the position just isn't emphasized anymore. Therefore, little kids aren't becoming running backs. But like I don't know, man. Like if you're a running back in like elementary school and middle school, are you thinking about like, hey man, I better start being a wide receiver because if I'm not a wide receiver, then I won't get paid any money in the NFL. Like, I don't know. Maybe there's a bunch of dots that you have to connect to get there. I guess I see the point, but I can't make this like a big societal thing because I see other teams having good running backs, right?
Headley here to remind us in the YouTube chat.
Hi, Headley.
They already have a running back in the 2026 class, guys.
No, I know.
Get another one.
But like he's hurt, as we just talked about, right? He's got I don't know what the deal was. Go back and listen to the Munson interview if you want to hear it. And I was just like, I'm not mad at their lack of recruiting numbers in terms of running back. Just to be clear here, they have had no problem. They get a running back every year. Do you see what the issue is? They
you have to field the position.
Yes, but they also have to be good.
Well,
that's where Nebraska's falling short.
Okay, yes.
That's where Nebraska's falling short. They get them every year. So I'm not just the happiest person in the world when they get a running back. They also have to be good. Like, I want to hear, oh, no, they love this guy and he's going to play right away. Because like I said, at that position, you just kind of know. You know? I think I'm sure Mekhi Nelson will develop into like an Emmett Johnson type of player, like whatever he ends up being, and he turns into a good player that can run for several hundred yards by his junior year or something like that. Great. I don't care about him. I think there's 40,000 of those guys. I think I want a guy who can absolutely game break you right now, 18 years old. I think those guys exist. And yes, of course, they are hard to get, but Nebraska is a place where you should find, identify, recruit, and develop them.
So I'm gonna share a vulnerability with you in the audience.
Okay.
I'm not a recruiting guy. I don't like in one ear out the other. My eyes glaze over when we talk recruiting sometimes. This running back that Nebraska has in the 2026 class?
Yeah, Jamal Rule.
This is Ja Rule's son?
Oh, I don't know. Is he?
That's yes.
Did you Google this?
I did.
There you go.
This is Ja Rule's son?
I didn't know that until just now.
We should be talking about this more.
No, we shouldn't.
Yes, we should.
What if he sucks? I don't care if he's Ja Rule's son.
I do.
I want him to be good.
What about both?
Him being Ja Rule's son will not distract me from the fact that Nebraska's running backs stink.
Is Google lying?
They will not distract me from this, Josh.
Okay.
Headley says, no, it isn't. I was kidding.
But Google says yes.
Josh, you've been awfully gullible lately. Can you get to the bottom of this?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. Good. That's good.
I don't know. Google says he is.
You have to go a little bit. I would urge you and advise you to go a little bit further. Maybe click on a couple articles and see what's in there. Because, the Google AI is really, really dumb. And they just pull words from places because they can't comprehend things. They could it just pulls words.
What if we got good
So
AI?
if they're mentioned in the same article, then the AI might think it's a thing when those are two dots that don't have the ability to connect. So I would urge you to source this out, figure it out, click on some stories, and then, I would like you to have an answer on this definitively, one way or the other, within the next couple minutes.
No relation to Ja Rule, according to Stephen M. Sipple.
That's a good source.
We should ask Stephen M. Sipple about Ja Rule, though, later today.
Okay. I agree. Ethan writes in.
Hi, Ethan.
A competent O-line makes an average running back look great. Nebraska hasn't had a competent O-line since Pelini. Rule is going to be forced to make a change if they keep getting destroyed at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, so people keep doing this. I get it. Yeah, I'd love to have a great offensive line too. And I have an offensive line topic for you that we're going to get to here in just a moment. But guys, we complained all the time. It's about the offensive line in Bo's days. Every year around here, we complain about the offensive line. And it's just now, after Bo left, become an issue that you can't run the ball competently with the running back, and you can't recruit good running backs, and you can't, have 1,000-yard rushers and stuff like that. Only now has that become a problem, but we've been bitching about the offensive line since Osborne left. Okay?
That's true.
So you tell me what the difference is. Nebraska had 1,000-yard rushers all the way until Bo left, but we were still complaining about the offensive line during that time. And I know they had good players come out of the offensive line. And don't get me wrong, Nebraska needs to find better offensive linemen too, and they need better offensive line. But this is not an offensive line problem. Yes, a competent offensive line can make an average running back look great, but maybe the easier way to do this, 5 versus 1, is having a great running back making a bad offensive line look competent, because the same works in reverse too. You could do it that way. And you still get your yards.
And
you break tackles beyond the line of scrimmage. Guys, everything that happens when you're a running back does not happen behind the line of scrimmage. We understand this, right? Even Nebraska's, as in your words, incompetent offensive line, in your words, not mine, even Nebraska's incompetent offensive line creates the opportunities for Nebraska's running backs to get beyond the line of scrimmage. You would think that they're so incompetent that they're not allowed to get beyond the line of scrimmage. What happens when Nebraska's running backs get beyond the line of scrimmage? They get tackled all the time. They get tackled constantly. That's not an offensive line problem. That's not an offensive line problem. So, of course, they want to have better everything, but give me a break. All right? Give me a break.
There are problems on the offensive line.
Yes.
But that's a separate thing for right now.
Yes.
Also, I'm ready to rule on Ja Rule.
Thank you, Josh. Please tell us the truth. Whole truth and nothing but the
Ja
truth.
Rule has 3 children. Brittany, I'm ready to eliminate her as a running back at Nebraska. Jordan and Jeffrey, neither of those are named Jamal. Not Ja Rule's son.
You are not the father?
You are not the father.
Thank you, Maury Odson.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Here's Jed on the text line.
Hi, Jed.
I've never been so excited and then let down learning we had Ja Rule's son and then immediately having it proven wrong.
I know. That's on me. I got to do the research before I get excited.
You got got by Headley.
I got by the Google.
You got by Headley, and then
I don't
know how many times we got to learn this lesson. The Google AI is nonsensical.
Headley said a thing, and then the first thing I Googled came up to confirm that. Why would I look anymore?
Come on, Josh. Here's Drake DeGrassi.
Hi, Drake DeGrassi.
Our line needs to be better, but to pretend our running backs don't leave yards on the field is a dumb argument. Thank you, Drake DeGrassi. I agree. Our running backs are running backs. Nebraska's running backs leave yards on the field.
Oh, Drake,
point blank, period.
Drake also tried to help me with this pan thing.
He sent you a tweet before?
Yeah.
Or sent you a text?
Yeah.
He said,
Ja Rule's sons.
Hey, bud, no.
Look at these sons who are not football players.
He can also help you with your mortgage loan.
Is there anything Drake DeGrassi can't do?
And talk about some Creighton basketball, too. Yeah. People forget that. All right. So, offensive line topic here real quick then. Hi, I'm Connor Happer. Have you been sold a bill of goods by Matt Rule telling you that the offensive line and defensive lines are going to be good this year? And now you are holding it against him because you thought the offensive line was actually going to win the Joe Moore Award this year. Yeah. And you actually thought the defensive line is going to be quote unquote hell on wheels. You might be an idiot. Oh no. And you are not entitled to any compensation.
Do not call JG Wentworth.
Please do not call any of your lawyers about this. So I've heard this come up this week in the various different channels.
Why would he say that, Connor?
Well, I just don't know why the coach has to say that the players are going to be good. Now think about what you're saying. Think about it. And then pair it along with the coach has outwardly admitted throughout this offseason and throughout his time here at Nebraska that he inherited a program that lacked confidence. They did not believe in themselves, right? And he outwardly admitted at points last year, like, yeah, I mean, I think, it's up to me to be that guy for them, to be a champion for them, and to be positive. He said that out loud. And yet, him and the players told you that the players on the offensive line, mind you, told you that the offensive line was going to be really, really good this year. And then you have now decided after one loss and the tackles getting beat to crud by Michigan, you have decided that not only they are not good, but they are not the best offensive line in the country anymore. And now you have turned back to the messenger. Same thing with the defensive line. I thought the defensive line was going to be very, very good. He said they were going to be hell on wheels. I think that's a misinterpretation of what he said, for the record. Hell on wheels, meaning they're going to, move around and stunt and do some different things on the defensive line because they are smaller, admittedly. Everyone knew this. And once again, everyone's response has been, well, I just don't understand why they would just tell us all of these lies at the beginning of the year. Do they love feeding us lies? They love lying to us. Guys, come on. You ever heard the phrase, take some personal responsibility? Take some personal responsibility.
Why didn't the media push back on these lies?
This is the coach, man. The coach can say whatever the hell he wants. It's up for you to either believe it, not believe it, take it with a grain of salt, however you're going to do it. But don't be mad when a place with a history, a recent history of not having very good offensive lines, and then they don't have a very good offensive line, but he says we're going to have the best offensive line, or they say we're going to have the best offensive line. Maybe you shouldn't be as surprised that they don't have the best offensive line. And for the record, I also don't think they're as bad as you guys think they are. I know it's a popular take this week. Offensive line sucks. Just blow it up. Blow it up. No, I also don't think that they're that bad. I think the tackles got put on skates against Michigan, and I think those ends are good, first of all. And I think that's also a result of Nebraska being down in the game. I think that's a result of Nebraska having to throw quite a bit more than they wanted to because of game script and game flow. And yes, of course, it's a product of them not being able to run the ball as well. But everyone just says, defense men get by offense men, offensive line problem. Block, block, block. Like, guys, come on. You are entitled to no compensation. In fact, I am stupider for having heard you this week, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Matt Rule meant they were fans of the AMC television series Hell on Wheels, which aired from 2011 to 2016.
That's what he meant.
They were binging it.
That's why he said they're going to be hell on wheels.
They're going to be hell on wheels. They've been watching the hell out of that show.
Chris writes in.
Hi, Chris.
Play designs from Holgerson is a huge concern. Lack of downfield targets because either A, Holgerson knows the wide receivers aren't good enough to create space, or B, Holgerson knew the offensive line wasn't good enough to allow Raiola to wait for receivers to get downfield. I also think there's probably a C in there too, Chris. I think the Cincinnati plan works against Nebraska. Why does you remember what Cincinnati did to him, Josh? They shelled him in. They didn't allow him to go downfield.
The shell.
Why does it work? I just think the root of all of it is their inability to run the ball. And yes, that is a combined offensive line and running back and scheme problem. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they pinpointed during the bye week to say, okay, what are our adjustments and how do we make sure we have a more efficient run game? But I do think in order to make defenses think twice about shelling you in, you either got to take shots over the top and complete one, or you got to run it on them. Because you got a bunch of defensive backs, and they're covering and they're letting you complete like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yard passes and stuff like that. You got to be able to run it on them. You do. So
I think it'll be okay here. They have a thin candy shell. Surprised you didn't know that.
You have a thin candy shell, Josh. Yeah. All right, we'll be back. Bryan Christopherson,
BC,
is our next guest. We'll ask him about some of these things. We probably don't need to ask him anymore if Jamal Rule is related to Ja in any way, shape, or
I got
form.
to the bottom of that. You're welcome, America.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. We're back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, Brian.
Bryan Christopherson.
I got to take this. It's Hap.
B. Rooney drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Bryan Christopherson, Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend Bryan Christopherson from Husker 247 BC. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys?
Good. How's your bye week been so far?
It's been all right. Staying in the deck this weekend. That makes me sound like kind of a guy who gets things done, more manly than I am.
Well, it's beautiful outside.
Actually, my dad's here to help me, so take a few points off.
Hey, I'm going to raise my hand high on that one too, because I don't think I've done anything around my house. My dad's just like, yeah, I'll take my parents are like, yeah, I'll take care of that. So I'll admit that one as well. But it is your deck at the end of the day. So
it is my deck. That's right. Yes. We're the generation that calls our dads for stuff. It's kind of an embarrassing thing.
No doubt about it. All right. So there's been a lot of discourse about stuff that I don't really care about this week with Dylan Raiola. So we don't have to talk about any of that stuff. We've talked quite a lot about these three areas of concern for Nebraska football this week. And I'm curious which you have dedicated the most thought to, whether it be the defensive line and their ability to stop the run, their ability to run the ball on offense. This brings up backup running back and what you do there. And then there's the tackles as well, which is sort of intertwined in the run game probably a little bit as well. Have you, I guess, which is the way that you've thought about those issues this week?
I'd give them all about equal billing there. Yeah. I think the tackles kind of jump out to me if they need to make an adjustment there, and obviously they have time to consider, is this where you elevate Pritchett maybe at left? And that doesn't mean you couldn't move Gatula to right. So I'm curious what they come out of the bye looking like at those spots. And, as much as, they do need to get the run game going, but I want to see that pass pro get shored up. And I don't think they're going to see pass rushers every week as good as some of the guys Michigan had, including number one, Barham, who I think is a first round pick.
Yep.
So, you got to look at it that way. There's probably some matchups that are going to be more favorable for the tackles than the front five for Nebraska, but they've got to step it up. We knew sort of that the D line going into this season was going to be a work in progress. And I think if you had been told in August, some of the stuff that has happened on defense occurred, you would have been like, yeah, I could see that.
Same. Yeah.
I think a disappointing part though, is the O-line. They were talking about winning the Joe Moore Award in press conferences and being that strength and, making that move. And I think so far in big moments, you'd say, it's been sort of average. So, that's got to be better. I want to see that group become a strength like we thought they were going to be a strength.
Tackle was a point of conversation all offseason. And I think it was a bit of a surprise to most of us that Teddy Prohaska had grabbed that spot seemingly. And then, we weren't exactly sure how it was going to look, but it became obvious, through a couple weeks at camp that it was probably going to be Gatula instead of Pritchett at left tackle. With that being said, you mentioned surprise level on the defensive side. What is your surprise level that this is a talking point 4 weeks into the season here with that position, that offensive tackle in particular?
I guess it was always possible because
right.
I think before fall camp began, you thought, well, Pritchett's going to be the guy at left, right? There was sort of that assumption all off season. Then that didn't occur. And so there was maybe, even though you thought this is supposed to be a strength, I think it could be given the experience. It was a little different layout than we expected maybe throughout the spring and summer with Gatula at left and Prohaska at right. And so, that opens up the idea there could be a change up at some point and Pritchett could work his way there. I know there's been the struggles with the some of the false starts, and obviously we've seen a couple examples of that. I thought the one false start on him was kind of tough on the 3rd and 3 against Michigan, where it seemed I believe the who's the CBS official guy.
Is it? No, it's not. It's not. Is it Pereira? No,
I can't think of who it is offhand, but I believe he said that he thought it was on Michigan, and maybe they drew Pritchett on that one. So I give him a little bit of leeway on that, but he's got all the talent. And
Gene's territory, Brian. Gene's territory.
I should know that because technically we're affiliated with CBS, so hopefully nobody within the big organization is driving through town right now. But yeah, I think Steratore said it was on Michigan maybe, but they've obviously got to get more consistent there. Pritchett's been really good in the run game, and if you actually look at his pass pro numbers, he's had his own issues, so it's not like that's a slam dunk either. But I'm just intrigued what they do there if they make a flip, and if you do change the left tackle, if the guy who's at left moves to right possibly, because they have talked about Gatula flipping. But both sides of the ball have equal import of improving, and it's not just the defensive line. You look at some of the explosives, and guys missed some run fits. Guys had some bad angles on tackles. And I said after watching the game back, Nebraska definitely lost in the trenches, but they lost that game in space too. Michigan, when they tackled, they dropped guys on the spot. And you can go back to so many key plays, 4 or 5 plays where Michigan made most of their hay that were because Nebraska didn't tackle well or just took a bad angle.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on just how I feel about Nebraska's ability to, and what they're going to have to do to stop the run going forward. Once again, we knew going into the beginning of the year, it's a smaller defensive line. They're going to do some movement. I mean, the coaches openly admitted this all offseason and into the fall. Hey, we're going to be a little bit different up there. There's some more pressures, and we might be able to be a little bit more explosive. In order to do that, your linebackers and your safeties have to be able to fit the run. And maybe BC, if you're looking at it from an optimistic standpoint, that's just something that comes with time, and those guys sort of adjusting to what they're doing next. But I don't believe it's panic time on that defensive front. Do you?
I think Rule's point is well taken, that it would be a lot more worrisome if the Michigan game was 6 yards, 7 yards constantly. And it wasn't that. It was 166 yards on the 3 explosives. Now, I get it. Those count. They count in a big way. But there was the 3 plays for 166 yards there. And then 41 yards came off those 3 third downs in the fourth quarter. And on the 75-yard touchdown run, and on 2 of those third downs where they're missed tackles, those are all veteran guys who missed tackles. I mean, Buford had kind of a bad angle on the one that was a 75-yarder. It was a tough play given where he was at, but he didn't take the great angle, and then it was a house call. And then Sierra Wright, who's been so good, missed a tackle on 3rd and 5. Deshaun McColl missed one. So, I mean, it's not like it's just your freshmen, your redshirt freshmen that are out there. Some of the veterans have to put it on themselves too. They're in an interesting spot. I mean, think about Gabe Moore was someone no one was thinking about until a week or 2 before the game. It's the green jersey came off, and now suddenly we're asking Rule about is he going to be able to play this Saturday against Michigan? And that mattered if he was going to be able to play. I mean, just use that example. And the fact that you have Cade Petchock, is playing very well for a true freshman, but he's 4 games into his career being asked to play, huge snaps in Big Ten games already. So, I mean, that does tell you it's going to take a little time with that group.
Okay, BC, before we let you go here, I haven't listened to the pod this week, but the headline on the message board grabbed me. Here's what it says. Husker 247 podcast, handling the bye, recruiting talk, and BC's best sandwich bread. Whoa! I don't know how I didn't see that earlier in the week and immediately give it a listen. I haven't yet. Would you like to tease this even further? Because, man, you got my attention right away.
Yeah, I'll just say it on the air. I'm not going to tease it and make people go because they'll be disappointed. Schaefer off the cuff. I forget. I was talking about how recruiting now is like a sandwich. How you got to count the not just the current class, but the portal classes on each side of it. It's a sandwich. And so Schaefer then asked me, "What's your go-to sandwich bread?" Which I've never given any thought, like a day in my life. And so I was struggling to think of what bread we have in the house, and my wife was in the kitchen listening to me struggle, was really disappointed in me, and she like brings it to me that we have Rotella's Vienna bread. And so I just stood tall. I stood on the table, as we like to say, for Rotella's Vienna bread, and I think went strong in the paint, stronger than I should have, that it was the best sandwich bread. I think it's the best for grilled cheese. I'll leave it at that. I think there's probably other breads that could compete, certainly, for the best sandwich bread. But grilled cheese, you slap a whole thing of butter on that.
Yes,
Rotella Vienna,
it can absorb the butter and the heat, unlike any other bread.
Yeah, you'd be hard pressed to beat that bread with grilled cheese. So I'll leave it there.
A great take.
Further than that.
A great take. I think people should listen to the podcast anyway to get your further thoughts on bread and a variety of different issues. Thanks,
well,
BC.
I stated it better to you than I did on the podcast, so there it was.
Thanks, BC. Enjoy your weekend.
Yep. Thank you.
Bryan Christopherson, Husker 247.
You got to get this football guy sandwich takes.
That's Mike Schaefer for you, just asking the questions that create the content.
He's so
good
at radio.
I always said he has a radio brain, and he absolutely has a radio brain.
It would have taken me 3 days to think of that. When we were talking about sandwiches 3 days ago, what's your guys' favorite sandwich bread?
By the way, what's your favorite sandwich bread? All right. Sipple's going to join us at the top of the hour. Of our picks for the weekend coming up after that. There's a couple other things that I'd like to get into for this weekend. The final weekend of the regular season in Major League Baseball. Also an opportunity for you to chant USA. USA. Maybe.
One of my favorite things to do.
If you're not embarrassed by our country's play at golf. Oh, okay. We'll be back after this on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But first, a word from our friends at Underdog Fantasy. Man, what a great weekend for you to get involved with Underdog Fantasy. A full weekend of football. You can make picks and win money all weekend long. You can play right now in the state of Nebraska. Hell, I even mentioned there's some Ryder Cup stuff on there as well. So get involved right now. It is very easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower. In football, we're talking about stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, or more. How about Saquon Barkley this week? And I'm looking at it right now on the popular picks page on the Underdog app. A half of a rush plus receiving touchdown, higher or lower. If you wanted to go lower, that's 1.06 times your money. Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf. I mean, all this stuff is on here. I would urge you to take a look, and there is a live Ryder Cup bet going on right now as well. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code HAPPER1620. Score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. Promo code HAPPER1620. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 or over. Present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get /web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
He gives you the latest sports news, analysis, and commentary in a clean, concise, and disease-free way.
See there?
What a relief.
Thank God.
Wonderful.
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
As far as I know, the zone deal is still on. 1620thezone.com, 2-for-1 combo passes on sale right now for Scary Acres, folks. You can get into all of the attractions at Scary Acres with these combo passes, like the Master's Castle, House in the Hills, and the Haunted Woods, and a few other scares along the way. John and Josh will have your opportunity to win a couple more passes this afternoon, or you could get the 2-for-1 deal on our website, 1620thezone.com. One final look at the MLB regular season this weekend. I figured we haven't done MLB reaction over reaction lately. People might just, this might be the only source of news that you listen to in the whole wide world. And you might be thinking, whatever happened to baseball?
Who won the baseball?
Let's get you caught up.
Okay.
Toronto and the Yankees are tied atop the American League East. Both have clinched playoff spots. So that will be decided this weekend. The winner will get the first wild card.
Who do those teams play this weekend? Do you know off the top of your head?
They're not in. You know what? I had this up last night, and I knew that this question would come up for everyone. I highlighted the important series. The Yankees
Jays, Rays, Yankees, Orioles.
There you go. Cleveland and Detroit are tied atop the the AL Central, which is shocking. If you weren't with us yesterday, we explained how that was unfathomable about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Cleveland has erased what was once a 14-game lead for Detroit in the AL Central and a 10.5-game lead at the beginning of the month. And it's very possible that the Guardians don't make the playoffs. Not very possible. Or, I'm sorry, the Tigers don't make the playoffs. Although mildly unlikely at this point. I'll explain why. Seattle has clinched the West. Houston is a game behind Detroit/Cleveland, whoever loses that division for the final wild card spot. But if Houston is to pass that spot, then the loser of the AL Central will not get into the playoffs. And how devastating would it be for either of those teams?
Yeah.
At this point, Boston will likely be in as the second wild card in the American League at this point. There are a couple games clear. So we're going to have 3 AL East teams.
And Cleveland owns the tiebreaker, right?
Over who?
Over Detroit in the division.
I believe that is correct.
Okay.
I don't know that for sure. I don't know that for sure. But I'll go with what you think on that one, Josh. I don't know the answer to that.
It's not Ja Rule's genealogy, so I'm more confident.
Okay. Well, then why'd you ask? You should have just said it. Cleveland has the tiebreaker.
Connor, I'd like to add that Cleveland has the tiebreaker.
Thank you, Josh.
In the AL Central.
A great thing to know. NL division winners are locked in. Philly, Milwaukee, and LA. If you missed a portion of the season where Milwaukee was the greatest team of all time, boy, you missed some fun stuff.
They still have the best record in the league.
The Cubs are likely wild card 1. San Diego is likely wild card 2, although they could flip in theory this weekend.
They are playing each other.
The Mets hold wild card 3 at the moment. Cincinnati and Arizona both alive for that playoff spot. The Mets just need to win 1. 2 would do it themselves. 1, it kind of takes it out of their hands a little bit. Cincinnati would need to sweep and Arizona would need to do the same. So matchups of great significance this weekend. Detroit at Boston will be big time for the American League picture.
Yeah.
Texas at Cleveland will be big for the American League picture. And for the NL picture, Arizona's still alive. They play at San Diego this weekend. So those are 3 baseball series to watch out for. 3 series that no one will need to watch out for. There will be no reason at all. These series do not involve a playoff team, nor do they involve a potential playoff team. They involve nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, the series of no meaning. The White Sox at the Nationals, the Pirates at the Braves, and the Royals at the Athletics this weekend. And then, of course, there's the Rockies. Yeah, I seem to remember last time we thought about baseball that the Rockies weren't really good. How really not good are they? Well, the Colorado Rockies are in San Francisco this weekend. They are 43-116. They are 43-116. There are 3 games left to play. Now, we were watching earlier in the season. I think the last time we reminded you of this was around the All-Star break. We wondered if they could catch last year's Chicago White Sox as the losingest team in the modern era. 121 losses last year for Chicago. Well, they can't.
Oh,
unfortunately.
Sad.
Because there's only 3 games to play. And the worst they could do is 43 and 119. They can tie the 2003 Detroit Tigers if they are swept this weekend. So here's how it goes. Most losses in a season in the modern era, 1901 to present. Last year's White Sox, 41 and 121. The 1962 Mets, 40 and 120. And then the 03 Tigers went 43 and 119. If the Rockies lose 3 this weekend, they will also be 43 and 119. They would pass the 1935 Boston. Well, they've already passed the 1935 Boston Braves, and they would surpass the 1916 Philadelphia Athletics for a couple of the losingest teams ever.
They do have the worst run differential in the modern era. They're currently negative 416
ever.
Connor, they've allowed 1,007 runs this season.
1,000 runs. Woof. So be on the lookout for that if you are sicko and you care about that type of stuff. You're rooting for the Rockies to get swept this weekend.
I always am.
Not exactly history, but could be fun. Could be fun to talk about. Could be fun to make fun of your favorite Rockies fan in your life.
If you know one.
And then this weekend at the Ryder Cup. All right. So this has not started well for the Americans.
How not well would you say it's been?
Well, it's hard to tell at any moment in time what the score is, but here's what you need to know. It's going to be difficult. In the Friday foursomes, the U.S. was only able to win 1 of the 4 matches. In the 4-ball, which is going on right now, all of them are in progress. There has been no defined winners in each of them. So we have the Friday foursomes in the books, and the Europeans have gotten out to a 3-1 lead. Remember, this is at Bethpage Black, which is in New York. Nobody has lost on their home soil since 2012 when the Europeans won in the Chicagoland area at Medina. And this is a point of pride for each of the two sides to be able to win on their home turf. I thought we were off to a great start yesterday. Did you see the chirp from the gallery against Rory McIlroy yesterday?
No, I did not.
So Rory, I won't play the video just because it's like it's just a video off of somebody's phone, but it's funny. So they're all the Europeans getting ready to go on the, I think looks like it's on the 3rd hole yesterday, practice round. And Rory is turned around buttoning up his polo. What do you call his polos? He's buttoning up his polo, and somebody yells from the crowd, probably, I don't know, 15, 20 feet away from Rory, and all the European golfers, he goes, "Hey, Rory, you don't need a button to choke." And they all were like, "That's a good one. That's a good one." So it was a great start for the Americans yesterday. The chirping was on, but so far the Europeans have gotten off to a good start. Also, I thought there was good vibes for the Americans when Rory McIlroy. Did you hear what Rory McIlroy said yesterday? After this is before, I guess, is after the chirp about the buttons.
No, admittedly, no.
All right, question to Rory. What were your impressions as a kid of America growing up, and now having lived here for so long? How is it similar or different than what you thought it would be like? Great question. Here's what Rory said. Once again, he's on the other team. Everyone wanted to make it in America. It's the land of opportunity, and I still believe it's the best country in the world. And if you come here and work hard and dedicate yourself, you can be or do whatever you want. I'm unbelievably grateful and lucky that I got to come to America early on. I think success is celebrated here. I think there's a wonderful sense of work ethic. And yeah, I live here. My wife is American. My daughter is American. I have a lot of affinity toward this country. And I think everyone that lives here should have that same affinity because it's a wonderful place. It is a wonderful place. Shout out to Rory. And I thought that would, maybe that softened the Americans up from a golf perspective. Rory loves us. But a great quote from a non-American about America. Isn't that what we feel? The sense of pride that we feel when like an opposing fan base comes to town to play Nebraska or Creighton, and they're like, oh man, this is one of the best places to watch college football. This is one of the best places to watch college basketball. And you feel that like, oh, I know. And I live here.
I saw a few posts from Michigan fans that were like, I came in for the game and I just want to say thank you guys. This is a real great spot.
What an excellent feeling. And so Rory getting up there and say all those nice things about America, it's kind of heartwarming, isn't it?
We had a flyover.
President T's there.
He is wearing a suit, no tie.
Yeah, he's suited up. So shout out to Rory, or as John calls him, Roar. Hope he chokes this afternoon and tomorrow. Go America. We get to yell USA. USA. What a comeback for the ages it could be because they're getting killed right now. All right, let's take a break. 1 o'clock hour is coming up. We'll chat with Steve Sipple from HuskerOnline.com. It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Steve Sipple,
Hey! The conversation gets even more uncomfortable, okay?
Omaha!
Steve Sipple on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend Steve Sipple from HuskerOnline.com. Sipple, good afternoon. How you doing?
2 straight weeks.
That's what we call a winning streak.
Yep, and it's great to be with you on this beautiful day.
What do you think our odds are for next week?
Great.
I'd say so too, but you never know until you know.
No, not with me. But no, yeah, I appreciate your kindness and patience, and I look forward to these conversations, as you know.
Okay, good. What have you been most? I mean, you follow along with the discourse. I don't know how much you've engaged in the discourse. What have you found revealing or interesting this week about the chatter about Husker football?
Connor, I don't do a great job of following. I don't.
No, you really don't. I actually believe you. You really don't care about what other people are saying, do you?
I don't frame it up that way. That sounds awful. My God. It's not. That shows like you think I have a level of arrogance that's sort of
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, I listen to Sean and Robin though on Husker Online, and I listen to the guys on my show now. Sean and Rob, and I've told them this. I'm not saying anything on your show that I haven't said to them. I've sort of been surprised by their tone of how sort of, I don't like to say like negative, but
me too.
Kind of rough, But as I said to Sean today, and like I said, I don't like to say stuff that I don't tell them directly. I think it's a result of getting whipped in the trenches. And the people that are sort of reacting, I don't want to say negatively, but just kind of just feel a little bit rough. I think they're smart fans that understand the ramifications of getting whipped in the trenches. Then there's the people that say, yeah, well, you can be a pass first offense and be good. And, you can work around those things. You can. It's going to be tough. I believe that they got whipped in the trenches, but can still win 8 or 9 games. I think two things can be true at once. So
I agree. Think about this.
Go ahead.
They got they're pretty good. I mean, some of this is the style of football that they play and did play over the last couple of years. But I would say offensive and defensive line over the last couple of years, like if you look at the stats that everybody cares about, how do you run the ball? How do you stop the run? Really, really good. Over the last 2 years, they went 5-7 and 7-6, Like it doesn't have to be completely indicative of how good or bad your football team is. Although like you said, there are ramifications if you're outwardly bad. And I don't believe Nebraska is like bad. I just think there's been a pretty big overreaction here.
Well, you sound very reasonable. I think that's a good way to put it. I don't think Nebraska has a bad offensive line. I wouldn't say that. I mean, let's put it this way. I would need more evidence that that's the case. They didn't have a good day, but I don't think it's a bad offensive line. We've been I don't even want to get into the defensive line because we've been talking about it for 4 months or so. We know what that's all about, and we know it's going to be something that's challenging every single week, probably from here on out. But now there's a broader conversation that we don't even have to have. I'm just going to mention it briefly, and that is if you're pass first offense and you're limited if you're kind of limited in the trenches, it's got to be addressed, in my opinion, because there's just no path to a championship that way. You don't see many teams that you would like. I don't think you could find. You might be able to do this. I haven't looked at the last 10 national championship teams, but I bet you won't find one where you'd say God, they couldn't run it at all. They just threw. They just had to rely on their quarterback. I don't think you'll find it. Just in a big picture sense, I do want the program to get back to where they have a good running game, that you can build off of. And so that's the kind of thing that I think about a lot, but that's probably more of a long-term issue than a short-term one. And I do believe that they have enough material to get to 8 or 9 wins.
Me too. So I think there's a couple things happening. Number one, it's an adjustment of expectations, right? It's Nebraska. They want to see Nebraska, grind opponents down and run for 250. Like,
it happens.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not. They can still run it efficiently for how much I think, although it was subpar, I think, in this category last week, but like
it was,
they could run it efficiently for what they're going to do. But maybe a good number is, I know Rule said 150. That seems like a lot. I think more like 125 or something like that.
I don't think he said 150 is a flat number. I think he said over 100.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what he said, but I don't remember him saying we got to get to 150 because I don't think he'd say that because they don't. They didn't. They ran against Cincinnati. Emmett Johnson ran 25 times for 108 yards, and that was enough that game. Okay, barely, but it was enough. And I think if he would have went 25 for 108 against Michigan, it would have helped immeasurably. Instead, in the second half, it was 5 carries for 10 yards. And yeah, it's going to be hard. Doesn't mean you can't win that game, but it just makes it harder. And it puts a lot, you guys know, you talk about this stuff. It puts a lot of pressure on your quarterback when that's the case. Right? That's what we're talking about.
Definitely.
You're just putting a lot of heat on number 15 if your lead running back runs 5 times for 10 yards. It's just that, to me, that equates the pressure on the quarterback.
Okay, so there's a bunch of different arms to Nebraska not being able to run it efficiently. Like, you do have to include that the other team is a factor in this conversation, like you said before.
Okay.
But also, I would say, it's not just the offensive line. It's running back. It's the plays that you call. It's the creativity in the run game and stuff like that. I wonder what Nebraska's run game is going to look like after this bye week. What they've decided, okay, this is something that we can clean up and get better at out of those options there. Or if they're just saying, Sip, like, no, Michigan was just really good and we're going to double down on exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, you just don't know for sure what their line of thinking is. It's a mindset discussion too, right? I mean, it's running the ball effectively requires a certain mindset, and a lot of the mindset is we're just going to do it. I've talked to coaches that say, hey, look, we're going to run it no matter what, and even if we're not particularly effective, we got to do it. I mean, we have to try it a lot because it's a certain mentality you have in a football team. With Nebraska, the discussion, I kind of go back to Jerry DiNardo's comments last week that caused a stir around here when he said he was taking Michigan because they're so much more physical up front. And what he's talking about is, Connor, is really a style of play where you get into these gap scheme runs and counters, and it's tough blocking. It's not just getting in the way; it's hammering people. It's hammering away in a physical way. So when I always think about these conversations, now Nebraska's a zone blocking team, and it's different when you get into a game against Michigan, especially after you've played Akron and Houston Christian.
Yeah,
shock to the system, shock. Like, oh God, these guys are way bigger and they're hammering us. They're going to try to hammer us. It's going to be a fist fight every single down. They're not trying to get in our way. They're trying to knock us down. And if you don't see it in practice, it's rough. That's why I hope, and that's why I talk about a mentality. I hope they're over there hammering away at that defense, because if they're not, then on Saturday it can be kind of rough when you face a good team.
Steve Sipple from Husker Online is with us here in the Connor Happer Show. There's been a lot of conversation about Dylan this week. A lot of it, sort of weird and nonsensical in a way. We know the stats. He's all of that is checking out through 4 games so far this year. The thing that I liked against Michigan is, he took sacks, yes, but I really started to see an edge to him, I think, in that game a little bit, which was something that I was waiting for. He kept getting back up and making plays. That was a box that maybe not necessarily was unchecked, but I like to see that in the Michigan game. What did you learn about Dylan Raiola last weekend and at the start of this week?
I don't know. I didn't learn a lot, except there were some things to reaffirm. How about that?
Okay, yeah, totally.
He's a mature kid, and his body language stayed good. He was getting hammered, right? And he was running for his life at times. He had to make some weird throws, right? Like he had to dodge out of trouble and then throw off one foot, right? He had to do some kind of, off kilter, off schedule stuff. Never, his body language was good. It's because he's going to be a pro. I mean, and everybody knows it. Anybody who's smart that watches football knows they're watching a future NFL quarterback. And that, I mean, he kind of reaffirmed that by withstanding all of that pressure and throwing for 308 yards. I don't even know what people are saying, to be honest. Robin and Sean, the guys I work with at Husker Online, talked about that this week, that he's enduring criticism nationally. And I haven't seen it. I don't even know what we're talking about at this point.
Good for you.
I'm surprised if that's the case. I hear the Mahomes stuff, and that to me is like Matt Rule covered that really well. It strikes me as sort of immature conversation. Like, who cares? Why is that? It doesn't even, maybe it annoys people for some reason, but if you know Dylan and you've been around him at all, he's just a good kid. There's nobody that prepares harder than him. His teammates love him. So all that stuff to me is sort of immaterial, but I just look at what he does, what he, as far as, is really impressive to me. And here's the bottom line, Connor. I think that people can listen to the conversation and ascertain this on their own. He's the biggest hope you have.
Yeah.
I mean, he is 100% the reason you'll get, the number one reason. He is the number one reason you can get to 9 wins. There's no other thing on that roster you can point to that would say, no, this is the reason, Sip. No, it's not. It's the quarterback. It's number 15. Because you're not going to run the ball very well this year. So you better have a good quarterback that can get the ball to those good receivers, and he's that guy.
Yep, no doubt about it. Do you think that they should just bomb the ball, just put it all on his shoulders?
Don't even bomb the ball.
I mean, throw it around. Like, we're talking, he threw it 40 times in that game, and like more. You think they should just forget about running the ball?
No, I don't think that.
Okay, good.
I was just saying, I'm of the mind that you got to try. You got to have some semblance of balance. But we know what Nebraska is. And I don't like to say pass first team, but it's clear.
That's how they get their yard. That's how they like to get their yards.
Strength. Yeah, it's your strength. So when you say bomb, I think you're throwing it downfield all the time. No, I'm not that guy. But are they going to have to lean hard on him? Oh yeah. They're going to lean really hard on him.
Yep, no doubt about it. All right, Sipple, we'll let you go. Enjoy your weekend. What you got? Anything coming up? You're excited to watch Oregon, Penn State, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch Indiana and Iowa, and I'm really excited to watch USC, Illinois, and of course that big one. Just to be able to watch all these games is really, I really cherish the opportunity to do that on off weeks.
Yep, no doubt. All right, Sip, enjoy. See ya.
All right, see ya.
Steve Sipple from HuskerOnline.com. Like my coworkers. Robin and Sean. I work with them.
At Husker Online.
Credit to that guy, man. He did not When he said, I don't know about what's going on in the chatter with Dylan this week, he's dead serious and he's not lying to you.
It does seem impossible for everyone but him. He's different, man.
Now, you don't have to engage in any of it. He's like, yeah, I heard Rule talk about it, but what are they saying?
Heard some national discourse.
Good job. I wasn't going to tell him what Tom Fornelli said about him not making reads because it probably would have sent him into outer space. Would have been not good. All right, when we come back, by the way, the U.S. putting together a little something here on 4-ball.
USA!
Yeah, so trying to get some points back that they lost this morning. Europe's the 3-1 total, but get some 4-ball points back and maybe reset the deck by day's end today.
I've always said, and you can look back at the tape.
You always make your money in 4-ball?
This is a 4-ball team.
I knew a bunch of 4-ball guys when I see them.
That's right.
I'll say that. All right, we'll take a quick timeout, make our picks for the weekend in a big weekend of college football coming up on 1620 The Zone. Hey, it's Happer here for Underdog Fantasy, ladies and gentlemen. Football is rocking and rolling, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. You could play right now in the state of Nebraska. When I say right now, I mean right now. Look at us. If you're watching along with us on YouTube, we are playing literally right now, and it's so easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. And you could play with as little as $1. So take a look at whatever it might be on the NFL slate for this weekend. You know who everyone loves? Cam Skattebo. Cam Skattebo, 55.5 rush yards, higher or lower. That's an option for you as they take on the Chargers this weekend. So check that out and plenty of other options on Underdog. Download the app today and sign up with a little promo code HAPPER1620, and you're going to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. Promo code HAPPER1620. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 or over, present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See asset.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. All right, welcome back. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. If you're tuning in for Josh's hype video, sorry, you must have forgotten that Nebraska doesn't have a game this week.
You could hype them up for the bye week.
You could, Josh, but you're not that committed.
I chose not to.
That's okay.
I chose the easier path.
Josh enjoyed his bye. Nice job.
Not a bye from me.
That's right.
I'm working football
But it's
tomorrow.
your home opener or homecoming.
Homecoming.
That's right. So wow, this is great. You won't be gone for very long this weekend.
I will not.
You'll only be gone from your house for what, like 6-7 hours?
Yeah.
That's great.
What a great weekend it's going to be.
That's fantastic, Josh. Yeah, it's a little bit lighter for me too. We got volleyball tonight. We got volleyball tomorrow at DJ So Cold Arena. And I currently have nothing on my calendar for Sunday, which would I think mark the first day in, I don't know,
Forever.
a month and a half, maybe, like individual day where I haven't had any jobs to do. So
Connor,
I'm looking
Red
forward to
Zone,
it.
Collision course.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Who knows? Might even hang out with my family. I might even see my child on that day.
Who?
You never know. To the picks. Oh, what a slate we have.
Oh, it's a beautiful slate.
Update from last week. I made a couple notes here.
Yeah, how did we do last week?
Well, so last week I went 3-3 and you went 2-4, but it was a tough one for you. Okay.
Okay.
So
tell me more.
The difference here in my 500 record and your losing record was obviously one game. And that game was Missouri and South Carolina. You took Missouri. I took South Carolina.
I did.
How many points did Missouri win by?
Enough to cash a bet for some sandwiches on the FanDuel app.
Yeah, but not on this app.
Oh, no. This app is screwing me.
Won by 9. They were 9.5-point favorites. Yeah. You lost by the hook.
Well, I won the real money instead of the
that's
pride of winning on this show.
Also, I will have you know that we both took Indiana. And we took a lot of crap on the Indiana thing. I took a lot of crap last week on the Indiana thing. What did I say before you weren't here? We both picked Illinois in this game. The one that was won by Indiana, 63-10.
Oh, I remember what you said because I went back and listened to this segment.
Something smells here.
This is a Vegas knows something
This
game.
This is smelly And I also said that Indiana was going to win by 2 touchdowns. They won by more than that.
They did.
But I
Doesn't
still
matter
picked,
how many.
I still picked Illinois anyway. So I'll just, just a little bit. Just want to let you know, it's not about the results. We're trying to follow the process here. So that overall, that brings my record to 13-11 and Oddson to 9-15.
Oh, that's okay, because I got this year's first 6-0 batch of picks
In the hopper right now?
Right now.
Now that'd be cool if you went 6-0 in this big week, because this is such a good week.
Mm-hmm.
So if you rip off this 6-0, I'll be very proud of you.
Thank you.
We begin in Champaign, Illinois. That's right. That's the site of Big Noon Fox, Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, and the All-American girl, Jenny Taft, live from Champaign, where Brett Bielema, he's got an Iowa Hawkeye tattoo on his calf. Can you believe it? The Illinois idiot. That's what we call him. Brett Bielema against Lincoln Riley and Jaden Mayava and them boys.
Maserati Mayava.
USC is a 6.5-point favorite on the road at Illinois on Big Noon. I'm in the lead, and I won last week, so that's double my pick, Josh. So I also, let me pontificate here a little bit as well, before we ultimately make the pick.
Sure.
This is an overreaction line. Everyone knows that
they lost by 100 last week. They're gonna,
and you cannot get that thought out of your mind because it was literally just last week. There has not been a palate cleanser. The most recent time we've seen Illinois is them getting absolutely wrecked by Indiana. They're a 6.5-point underdog. I don't believe that's fair. I think they should be less than that. This is a good battle for, like Illinois. I could see them winning this game and getting back into that mix as like top of the middle of the Big Ten. But I'm actually quite high on USC. I think this will be pretty high scoring. And I think USC's got more points in the hopper here. Give me the Trojans, although once again, I know what Vegas is trying to do to me. But I'll take USC to win by a touchdown.
Connor, I told you I got the 6-0 batch right here cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations for being on the right side of history. USC.
Thank you.
All they got to do is win by a touchdown. They got plenty of touchdowns. You see how many touchdowns Illinois gave up?
They have many touchdowns. Yeah. 63 points worth of touchdowns.
Now that'd be something if USC dropped 63.
Yeah, I don't see that.
No.
Once again, I'm not super convinced on this, but I'm more of a buyer in USC, so just give me them.
Illinois on pumpkin watch.
Number 1, Ohio State. Ohio State, the Ohio State University, is an 8.5-point favorite in Seattle, Washington, against the Huskies. It's going to be hot in there tomorrow. Man, am I excited for this game. This will be cool. 2:30 on CBS.
Give me the demon for Washington.
The demon?
The demon.
Demond.
Demon.
Demond.
Demon D.
Demond Williams.
Well, you're going to be calling him the demon after he covers.
Demond the demon.
He could be the got it player of the week.
He could be. That's true. Or Jonah Coleman, one of those guys.
Huskies cover, and a lot of America goes, "Whoa!
All right.
Didn't know Washington was doing that right now."
This will be cool. I'm really excited to watch this game, mostly because Ohio State, and we didn't really get to the full preview on this, but I kind of wanted to today. Like, how do we square up Ohio State's win over Texas after now watching it?
Watching what
Arch
Texas
was so bad in that game. It's not like Julian Sain was incredible, but they knew how to win given the circumstances. Right now, they have like the full use of their capabilities. I do think Washington can make a run at this. Jonah Coleman is the most explosive running back in the nation in terms of like explosive runs so far. And they have a runner at quarterback. So I think it's a tough guard. And those are the kind of teams that can pull upsets in this game. So it has kind of all the makings. And I just would be a fool to refuse all the makings. I can't turn that down. I see the makings, Josh. And so I will take Washington to cover the 8.5, and I will not declare a winner of this game. But boy, it'd be fun if Washington won and just blew the whole thing up. Looks like we're both going 6-0 this week, Josh.
Okay, so far, yeah.
Number 11, Indiana is a 7.5-point favorite at Iowa, 2:30 on Peacock.
Don Siggs.
Yeah, I want, you could make the case that Indiana, they haven't really played anybody. Now they have to play this team who knows so well what they're doing. I think the most impressive part about what Indiana has done is it's all based on it's all just focus and execution, right? They remind me of Creighton basketball in a way. It's just it's almost formulaic, right? There's options in what they do.
Honk, honk.
But they just execute at such a high level, and they always win these one-on-ones. And I just don't see where Iowa wins enough of the matchups in the one-on-one game to be able to get this done. And Iowa, we move the goalpost for Indiana all the time. Indiana won a little bit of a slobber knocker last year when they beat Michigan. Remember, people forget that. I just don't know if Iowa has enough firepower to do anything here. And
they used it all last week.
It feels like to me, we're trending down the road of being another one of those games where people are like, okay, whatever. You beat Iowa 42-10. So what?
That was the exact number I was thinking.
Yeah, I think we're going to have another week of that. I think Indiana will win and cover. I think they'll win comfortably. They have a bye week next week before they go to Eugene. So that's where it gets fun for Mr. Siggs.
Don Siggs.
So we're both on Indiana.
We are.
Okay.
We've agreed so far.
Interesting. Number 6. Actually, let's go to the SEC first.
Whoa.
Number 4, LSU is at number 13, Ole Miss, who is a 1.5-point favorite, 2:30 on ABC.
I love Trinidad Chambliss, or whatever his name is. I don't know how to say it yet, but I love the man.
We got pretty close. Yeah.
Trinidad. I like this guy.
Okay, so you're taking Ole Miss?
I'm taking Ole Miss.
I'm surprised you don't have a comment about Lane Kiffin's daughter.
I had 2 comments in my head, and I decided to go with the more
appropriate
football focused.
Yeah.
One.
Well, Josh, I'm thinking Ole Miss as well.
Oh. Interesting.
I'm dead serious. That's what I was thinking. This game, LSU in big games, I don't trust them.
1.5.
Ole Miss at home feels like a moment for them. Number 17, Alabama goes to number 5, Georgia, who is a 2.5-point favorite, 6:30 on ABC. I think Georgia. Alabama is the type of team where they could they have the requisite talent. They play a style that would be conducive to them scoring enough points to actually do it. Just don't know if they have the quarterback to do it. And not that Georgia has been super duper impressive this year, but I do think they're thinking a little bit about this game last year in the back of their heads and saying, how could we have possibly done this? This is a disaster. So give me Georgia to cover the 2.5. Frankly, I think the number should be a little larger.
I agree that number should be a little larger. Who do you trust more right now, Alabama or Georgia? It's probably Georgia. Georgia's at home. Georgia by 3? Yeah, I think that could very easily happen, if not more. Yeah, I'll take Georgia here.
And we finish with the grand finale. Number 6, Oregon is at number 3, Penn State, who is a 3.5-point favorite.
Wide out.
6:30 on NBC.
You're telling me if I say Oregon, they don't even have to win. They just have to come within a field goal?
That's right, Josh.
Give me Oregon here. I don't trust Penn State until they do it, and I will pick against them every single time if I have to. Dan Lanning wins games like this.
In a game like this, to your point, Josh, what I said earlier, I think becomes really important. Like what kind of stuff are you made out of? What's your DNA? And There's not a whole lot of points in Penn State's category when you put up the tail of the tape against Oregon in that specific category. I mean, Oregon's been there and done that, and they've been challenged, and they've gone across the country. And with that being said, they did lay quite an egg in the college football playoff last year. I will say that.
Oh, that's true.
We talk about Penn State in big games. They kind of crapped their pants against Ohio State last year,
and quickly.
So don't forget about that. It's not like they're impenetrable to this type of stuff. It's a younger quarterback going across the country on the road. I'm not a huge believer in Aller, but the experience, I think, makes a difference in a situation like this. I'm going to take Penn State.
Whoa.
To cover.
Finally, we disagree.
The 3.5.
You're going to go 5-1.
I am not comfortable with that choice. I wouldn't be comfortable either way, for the record. But maybe people will get off. Maybe people will get off Penn State's back if they actually just win this game.
I would love to tune in,
but probably not. We'll move the goalposts again.
Big Nittany overreaction.
Big Nittany overreaction.
I guess either way, if they win, it'll be like, oh my gosh, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do it. And if they lose, it'll be, very typical to a Big Red overreaction. I've seen this movie before. At what point in the game did you go, I've seen this before?
I'm sorry to say this, but I've seen this game 400 times.
And if they win
I think Franklin should go back to Vanderbilt.
If they win it, it'll be, 4 years ago, Penn State loses that game. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I know ball.
Right.
Triggering Connor.
Asian Joe.
Hi, Asian Joe.
Oregon has to go to Penn State. Imagine if USC had to go to Happy Valley. Oh, the humanity. Lincoln Riley would be insufferable, even more so.
That's right.
Yeah, they just skipped right over. Champaign. They were like, we're going another hour to Happy Valley. Oh, you're going to fly into Harrisburg and drive the bus and stuff like that. Jeez.
Give me an airport.
We have to play late at night instead of early in the morning, even though he's already complaining about the early in the morning kickoff. Give me a break.
Would love to know what time they practice, because it's either early in the morning or late at night.
One of those two. Yeah. Those are our picks for the weekend. We're back with the polls, and we'll tell you what to watch coming up on 1620 The Zone. Yeah, once again, excited to watch the Big Ten Rivalry Series presented by Venmo get underway this weekend.
Thank you, Venmo.
Nothing better than a little classic rivalry.
It's a classic conference built on classic rivalries.
Sponsored by classic brands.
Yes.
Like Venmo. Penn State and Oregon. I am excited to sit on my couch and watch football all day long. On Saturday, you guys enjoy. You take a Kathy as well. Enjoy your bye.
Thank you.
Enjoy your bye.
Thank you.
All right. These are the poll questions today. Do you like a King movie?
Matt McMaster does. What say the audience?
I actually, yeah. You know, because oftentimes the King movie is like they're trying to
kill
they're
somebody.
Probably trying to kill the king. Yeah. Or protect him or something. 59% say no.
Ooh.
Interestingly enough.
Well, this is America. We famously don't have kings here.
And then the other poll is, do you see the makings? I don't even know where this came from. Josh felt like he had to meet a quota.
You in the last segment.
Josh was worried that he was going to have to do some sort of a punishment.
I forgot.
What's the punishment that we agreed on?
We had to do a post show or something.
Oh no, we had to do like a TikTok or
yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Well, you got, don't worry.
I forgot I did the King question in the crossover. So I thought, oh my gosh, I have no poll questions.
Good job. Good job. Do you see the makings? Yeah, I see the makings.
Of course you do. You're the one who said it.
70% say yes. Those are the polls. Josh, what are we watching this weekend?
We got football on our TVs. Here's what you're getting locally in the National Football League. Chargers Giants Sunday noon on CBS. Your noon option on Fox. Browns Lions in Detroit. Remember, the Browns just beat the Packers.
People forget.
3 p.m. Sunday on CBS. It is Ravens Chiefs. One of those teams will be 1-3 unless they tie.
And we will laugh.
Yeah, we will. Sunday Night Football, Packers Cowboys, NBC. It is our own Joey versus our own Josh Peterson.
Yeah, what's this? Joey's making hype videos.
Joey's making videos embarrassing the Cowboys. I don't know.
Fascinating.
It's interesting. College football tonight, number 8 Florida State at Virginia, 6:00 Friday night. That's tonight on ESPN. Number 24 TCU at Arizona State, 8:00 on Big Fox. And if you're a sicko, Houston at Oregon State, 9:30 tonight on ESPN. One baseball game on national television this week. Big Fox tomorrow night. Reds, Brewers. WNBA semifinals, best of 5 series. Aces and Fever, 6:30 tonight on ESPN2. That series tied at 1 apiece. And then Minnesota at Phoenix, 8:30 tonight on ESPN2. That series also tied at 1 game apiece. They'll run it back in both of those series Sunday afternoon. Volleyball, Nebraska Public Media, big weekend for them. 3:00 tomorrow. Number 1 Nebraska hosts Maryland on Nebraska Public Media.
Crab cakes and volleyball.
6:30 tonight, if you rather. Number 16 Creighton takes on Xavier on Nebraska Public Media. And then Butler at Creighton tomorrow night on ESPN Plus. And finally yes, we're honking away. That's two dubs for the Jays right there. On Peacock this weekend, Megan 2.0. After a defense contractor steals Megan's tech to create a deadly AI spy, Gemma revives and upgrades Megan. Megan's a killer doll.
I was going to say, who is Megan?
Megan's a killer doll.
Okay.
For a battle between the two powerful AIs. If you liked Child's Play but said, I need more tech, Megan 2.0.
Okay, cool. People are excited about Megan.
I don't know that that's true, but
Josh, have a great time this weekend.
Thank you.
Enjoy homecoming.
Iowa
Who's
Western?
the homecoming king?
Great question.
You'll find out on Saturday.
That's right. Iowa
What about the
Western
Queen?
versus Iowa Central.
Excellent.
For the cup.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Kyle.
That is it for us today. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The crossover is coming up next.